And we're live. This is Julian Jean-Pierre from the Royal St. Lucian Seamoss Company, and it's let's talk about Seamoss. And I already started the clubhouse before I opened up this room. That's why I kind of like skipped the intro and everything. But DJ that's in the room had an interesting question about penny pinch. And so I'm actually really familiar with penny pinch. I know the some of the investors in them, and it's a great product. In fact, my partner won a television set from them, like 65-inch TV. Yeah, and it's a shame that a lot of the people are not using the penny pinch in St. Like we're trying to get more people to use it because it can be an easy product to send the application to send money in to these people, especially if they don't they don't like if you're not comfortable with using Western Union and stuff. But the problem with penny pinch right now is that it's just so new that, like you said, that you're it's not easy to download for some people because not everybody has good Wi-Fi, and then also there's not a lot of places that you can use to pay the money, and withdrawing it to your account for a St. Lucian is a little difficult. And so that's why they tend to not use it. But hopefully, you'll get people who use it like more. But if anything, like I put you in touch with that guy on Instagram, Boss Seamoss, DJ.
Yeah, we've been going back and forth, so hopefully we will come to a decent conclusion on
Yeah,
how to resolve my issue.
yeah. I think it's just a matter of seeing if you have what you want. You mentioned to him that you know me or no?
Yeah, no, I told him exactly who I got it from, how I got his information from. We've been going back and forth, playing phone tag, message tag, whatever. So I'm confident that something is going to give before, the end of the, whatever.
Well,
Before it's all over.
I,
I'm not too stressed about it because I intended to spend it on something Lucid related as in the products that I get. So eventually, someone will put my money.
yeah, exactly. Someone's gonna take penny pinch. You know what I mean? But at the very least, if you don't find anyone, let me know because I have penny pinch, and so you can transfer the money to me, and I can figure out a way to get the money to you, or you can buy some CMOS off me.
No, I don't mind. I don't mind just buying this much because the intended purpose of that money was to purchase products and supplies.
Yeah.
It's just that the person who originally told me about the penny pinch, by the time I got it set up and then I reached back out, they was like, "Oh, we're not doing it anymore, blah, blah, blah." And I'm like, "Well, okay, you're not the solution that I know, so
Yeah.
whatever." And then 3 months later,
Yes. That's how it happens. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And
so the right person is gonna get my money with the right product. I'm not really. I don't stress about things too much because two cheers and a birthday.
cool. Yeah, man. We're trying to push it though. We think it's a good thing for the farmers to have, and it's like in some ways we want to try and set ourselves up as a merchant on penny pinch, so that when we go to pay them for the CMOS, we can just send them the money electronically, and it saves us having to carry cash on us. Because that's something that's, in fact, I don't even think my partner carries cash on him for that specific purpose because he doesn't want to have any issues. It's a safe country, but it's not a safe country. You know what I mean? Like just like any city, if they know you got money, things tend to happen. So this is what I mean. You know what I mean? Like I love Saint Lucia, and fuck. What can I say? I know this that I don't want to speak on it too much, but the violence is getting a little. I mean, I don't want to even say a little. It's getting out of hand in the community. Huh?
It's getting kind of American level of violence.
Yeah. Yeah, like I haven't had so many people I know die in there through violence. like gang violence, and even recently, a child. I'm really kind of upset about it. This child was shot on Friday by police, and a lot of people are saying that this was like an extrajudicial murder and stuff like that. And so, because this kid was an innocent guy, you know what I mean, and
Yeah.
didn't deserve what happened. So I don't want to speak too much of it because I don't know a lot of the details, but I just know that people are hurting. You know what I mean? Like I'm looking on the news every day, or not every day, but every week at least, and there's people up crying, like what I mean, because the violence, and it's getting out of hand. It needs to stop. Definitely needs to stop. And I think a lot of St. Lucians know that because they're good people. You know what I mean? This is not I believe it's in their nature to be this kind of Americanized. You know,
Yeah, I've never heard of any violent type situations coming out of your country, to be honest with you.
this is what I mean.
Feel sad when America starts infecting herself into other places.
Yes. And it happens with the TV and stuff. And like I remember, I'm really connected with Bermuda. And I remember Bermuda was like a super, super safe place. And then they introduced BET,
Yep.
and I would go, yeah, and I would go to people's houses, and they would be playing the music in the background and stuff like that, and it's just like, you see the level of violence like increase and stuff. But anyways, let's get back to CMOS. We could talk about gun violence.
Safer subject.
Yeah. So Roxanne is asking a question here. So, question on a nutritional level: what is the main difference between sea moss and seaweed? None. Sea moss is seaweed. They're both in the same. It's just that for whatever reason, they've decided to call certain species of seaweeds sea moss, which is like Chondrus crispus, Garcilaria, Euchinima, Capaciva, Averez. There's a few other. There's like maybe about like 100 species, to be honest with you, that would fall under the sea moss kind of like category. But there's no real sort of like, I don't know. I mean, I guess I gotta have to look that up more to see why they call certain seaweeds sea mosses, and then other certain seaweeds just seaweeds. It's I don't really have the straight answer, but I do know that they're the same. And so I hope that answers the question. Um, yeah. Hey, Yusuf, how's it going?
Chilling, looking at the football game.
Well, yeah. These are the playoffs, right?
Yeah, this was the last game of the playoffs, so next is the Super Bowl.
Yeah. And so is it the Bengals and so? I don't follow sports, so
Yeah, that's the Bengals and the Rams.
yeah. I watch football, but I don't really care for the teams. I just like watching the plays. You know what I mean? So it doesn't really matter which team I'm watching. I just like watching how they, because they're like, it's like war, and how they sort of push the ball back and forth between the opposite sides. It's interesting. But I'm so out of touch. Like when it comes to basketball, I know absolutely nothing.
Oh yeah, me either. I don't know absolutely nothing about basketball.
Yeah.
I used to look at it when Jordan played for the Bulls, but after that, I didn't look at basketball anymore. But I'm not really like into football. Football, I'll look at it, but I like track and field. I like the Olympics. That's what I like the Olympics.
The sporting events. Yeah.
I don't watch sports if my kids are playing.
Pardon? You only watch sports unless your kids are playing.
If my kids are participating, then I'm watching. If they're not participating, I don't have no money on the field, so it does not matter to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just like track and field, though, like the Olympics. Anything dealing with the Olympics, that's what I like to look at.
The different sports and international competition.
Yeah, because it's different. I like that. And then I used to do track and field and stuff, so I'm still kind of into it.
Well, my at my church, right? I don't know. Have you ever heard of the player Tristan Thompson?
Yeah.
Yeah. So his mom goes to, huh? Yeah. So his mom goes to my church, and one time, like early in the beginning when I started going, it was back when like the Cavaliers were going for the champion. So she's like got this shirt, something about Tristan Thompson, like go for Tristan. And I'm like, who's Tristan Thompson? And she gave me this look like, what the fuck? Like, are you seriously asking me that question? And I, you know what I mean? Like she gave that kind of look, right? Like, you serious? And I'm like, yeah, who's it? And she's like, oh, you don't watch basketball? And I'm like, no. And she's like, then she tells me, oh, this is my son. He's in the Cavaliers, blah, blah. And I was like, I had no idea. And then I met him for a fundraiser once. Really nice guy. But that's how clueless I was for, like, I have no idea. Like even on the Raptors, I think the only time I noticed like any players or learned about them is when I was like when they were in the championship, and it was hard not to like everybody's talking about.
The Raptors is a team from there, right?
Yeah, for Toronto, we won the champion one year. Yeah, and the whole.
Y'all won not last, but won.
Just before COVID.
Yeah.
So 2019, they went. The whole city went bananas. Like it was crazy how insane they went. Like the whole city was just like on fire. Like it was crazy. Like I remember being on the.
Y'all got an NBA team.
We have a good NBA team. We're usually high up. From what my brother told me, I learned this when they were in the champions. We're in the East Conference or something like that. Eastern Conference. We're usually in the top. But we always like.
First came in when they first made the team. I hated them.
Back in the 90s.
Yeah, I did not like it, man. It was too good.
Vince Carter and stuff. I remember Vince. Everybody's going crazy over Vince. But you know. So what town are you in? What town are you in?
Oh, I'm home right now.
Oh, you got home. Nice. Cool. Me too. It's cold up here. It's still a lot of snow.
Yeah, some of that snow. Not too much snow. Like I wouldn't even go outside. But it's supposed to have a storm coming up there. I don't know if it came. I don't know if it's gonna hit Canada, but it's gonna hit New York, Maine, Virginia. It's gonna hit up everything up there. I don't know if it's already passed or what.
I hope it's passed because we can't deal with another storm. We have so much snow, it's crazy. And I bet you there isn't another storm because we just started like removing the snow off the streets.
Yeah, I'm surprised Buffalo ain't get hit up.
Yeah.
I'm sure they're gonna get hit up because Buffalo down, up there in New York, they get it the worst out of everybody.
Well, all this just makes me want to go to St. Lucia so bad. And like the other day, my partner messages me, does a video call, and his wife is making like fried bakes, which I love fried bakes. So they were making fried bakes, cocoa tea, and fried chicken. Oh, Yeah. I know you guys are vegans. Most of the people that watch this are vegans. Probably get turned off, but
I'm not.
the
I'm vegetarian, but no, I'm not vegan. I don't eat meat, but I'm not vegan.
The chicken is very good, and down there, and with the fry, they fry it a certain way, and then what they do is they put the bakes, and then they'll take ketchup and hot sauce and mix it together. Like they'll kind of like spread a little bit of ketchup on it, and then a little bit of hot sauce, and oh my god, the combination is phenomenal. With the sweet bake, the bake is kind of like a donut, like a firmer donut. Like it's it's kind of like it's like almost like a sweet bun because it's kind of like some of them make it fluffy and stuff. I love it when they open it up and they put saltfish in it. saltfish and bakes is amazing. Yeah, I love that. Love it, love it, love it, love it. So, what else is new? What's going on?
Not much, man. Getting ready to switch to this other company. Work for this other company.
Yeah, you were saying that last time. You weren't really happy with the last guys.
Yeah. Try to start something, a few things so I won't have to work as much. You know, trying to put all my money into a few things. You know, just so I won't have to work. You know, I'm trying to get a few websites. I got everything covered. I have different manufacturing companies and stuff like that that make everything. So I'm going to work with a few people to design a few things, and hopefully I can get it up and running.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Well, I hope you do well with that. You know what I mean? I actually started something new that I think is really cool, and I'm going to figure out a way to, I don't know, promote it better. But I started offering half-an-hour coaching calls.
Yeah.
All right. So I put up the link there, and I basically said, you know, um, schedule a time with me. I'm using Calendly, right? The schedule, and you set up a half an hour, and so far it's been really good. Like I really enjoy the whatchamacallit, the discussions that we're having, and I find that pardon.
Oh, no, I'm listening.
Yeah, you're listening. Yeah. So yeah, the discussions that we're having with the different people, and I'm getting like a wide range of people calling me. So it's not just customers, but it's actually like suppliers and stuff from like say Jamaica and stuff, and they're looking for ideas on how to capture the foreign market. How do they ship to the States? You know what I mean? That's been a really big question, and I enjoyed having discussions with them and coming up brainstorming basically ideas on how they can get into the foreign market. Ideas on how to ship, where their problems are. We talked a lot about Facebook advertising, which I think is something that a lot of people are not, or not, but a lot of people should be spending more time on. Because understanding the Facebook advertising and how it works really it's huge when it comes to gaining business. Like I'm looking at my let me just pull it up on my site today, and like
so how do they take how do most of the people and overseas, how do they take payments? Because I notice that's the hardest thing, and
it
a
is.
lot of people don't trust Western Union. They don't trust different apps or different programs, whatever it is, as far as transferring money, because it's once they get your money, it's gone.
Mm-hmm.
And it's it's nothing. So
Mm-hmm.
it's you're not, you have no way to get your money back. It's nothing,
Mm-hmm.
And they need something as far as seasoning.
Well,
you need something set up, I guess, what is it, Alibaba, where if you buy some, your money is, if you don't, it's basically I forgot what it's called.
Like escrow.
But it's if you buy something, if you don't get your product, they'll give you your money back.
Yeah, sort of like with PayPal.
They'll give all your money back. If but I noticed buying overseas, I don't like to buy from certain places because your money, once you transfer your money, it's gone. So like you get gypped a lot.
Oh yeah. So yeah, it's an interesting question. Lots of people are doing different ways to set. The main one is Western Union. But then there's also like, some people get in those countries, they get what's the word I'm looking for? Creative. And they'll get someone who they know in the States to open them up a Cash App or a PayPal account. But what?
You said a Cash App?
Yeah, they'll have a Cash App or a Venmo. I've seen some of them that have Venmo and stuff like that. Even Kevin would have whatchamacallit. He had PayPal. Sorry?
You go in and out.
No. I was saying even Kevin, he accepted PayPal. And what he did was he had a girl that took the funds and would send it to him. And I think she would take it and send it.
He did do Cash App.
Mm-hmm.
Or PayPal, one of them. PayPal, Cash App.
Yeah. But earlier, I don't know if you saw the girl DJ that was here earlier, but she's been using a different form of payment. Although most of these payments, once you send the money, it's gone. You know what I mean? Like, unless you're sending it by PayPal, there is no sort of like recovery on that. You can't recover Cash App. You can't recover Zelle, as far as I know. No.
Yeah, Zello is bad. Most likely somebody trying to get you to send money Zello, it don't do it. Like, I don't pay for nothing through Zello.
Yeah.
At all. Zello and Cash App, don't do it. That's the quickest way to get scammed.
Yeah. I can't believe the scams, the ones where they send the money and it's like, send 200 and I'll send you 700 back.
I don't understand that.
I have no idea. Like, it was crazy. So my daughter's account got hacked once, and they hacked into it, her Instagram, and they sent out those posts. And like 5 of her friends fell for it, and they called her up and was like, "Well, how could you send me this scam?" And it's like, what? Like, you couldn't, like, it was so obvious. Like, you couldn't tell this was a scam. Like, how dumb are you? Like, in some ways, if you're gonna be that way, you kind of deserve to get ripped off. Seriously. Like, that's crazy. Like, it's fucking nuts.
Yeah.
But
I noticed they have an app you get on the phone, I think, called World Remit.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Like, I think once you send your money to them, I think it's also that way you can't get it back if you don't get whatever you're paying for.
No, none of it. Even like you send it wire transfer, you send it anyway. You know what I mean? You can't really get it back. But I don't know if you've heard me talk before about the like trying to start an association of Seamoss buyers. But that's sorry, this glare in the camera was driving me crazy. That's one of the things, one of the ideas that I have on creating this association, and I don't think it's going to start right away, but in the end, like eventually when it's kind of up and running and like how it's supposed to be, I wanted to have it so that there's a list of approved vendors. And when you deal with these approved vendors, if you're not comfortable with doing business with them, you can run the payment through like an escrow service where the association would hold on to the money until the Seamoss is cleared and it's good.
You explain it just like Alibaba does.
Mm-hmm. And so it would be kind of like how Alibaba is. Because what Alibaba is, and AliExpress and that, it's basically a platform where all these people come in, these companies that are selling, and you have to, register with them. So you have to meet a certain amount of criteria and stuff. And then they handle all the processing and payments for these different sellers. you know.
Yeah.
So, and then we could go in and sort of have a control, because you need some kind of clearing area to sort of hold the payments, or some kind of holding area to hold the payment until the person kind of clears it. But someone in the middle to verify it as it goes in between.
Yeah.
But if that can be accomplished, I think it would be a huge win. You know what I mean? And it would be something where those that, how do I put it? It's almost like, in order to get on into the association, you're going to have to meet a certain level of professionalism. And so it's going to push all these people to make sure that they're sending good Seamoss, and that they're sending it regularly. And as that, pardon?
I say yes, yeah. Like that's exactly how like the other websites do. Like they go see if they have like a warehouse, stores and things. See how they, how they package the stuff.
Yeah. And so as that confidence starts becoming stabilized, like, part of the reason why people are afraid or have this fear is because people are getting ripped off. Enough people are getting ripped off that people are hearing about it, right? People are always going to get ripped off, right? But if you reduce the level of the amount of people getting ripped off, then most, like, it's, how do I say it? It's not going to create the image in the market that everybody is someone to be, you know what I mean, questioned. And so in some ways, it's, hopefully it's going to create an environment or an ecosystem where everybody's just going to play smart, because, you know, I trust you, you trust me, because we're all, mutually in a benefit. You know what I mean? Because I don't understand why these guys do it in the first place, because you work so hard to get this scam, and it's like a one-time deal.
Yeah, they work hard too.
Yeah.
One-time deal.
That's it. And you got to repeat.
But you'll be surprised they get about 20 people.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's like you work so hard for that, and it's never a repeat. And in any business, the money's in the repeat. You know what I mean? The more that person repeats with you, the more money you're making, because you're not spending money to acquire that person or nurture that person. You know? Do you have any knowledge about capsules? You've never made any capsules, right?
About what?
Capsules, like Seamoss capsules.
Capsules?
Yeah.
I noticed, like, when I see Seamoss, like, pill form, it's not capsules. It's always pressed. It's dried and it's pressed. And one company that can make Seamoss pills, not the Gossalar, but the kind of descriptions is Star Wars Botanicals. They'll make whatever kind of pills you want. You tell them what you want and how much, and they can mass produce it for you. Now that one company that really sticks to like everything natural. Like they don't stay away from that.
What's the name of the company?
Star West Botanicals.
Star West what? Botanicals?
Star West Botanicals.
Botanicals, okay.
Botanicals, yeah, and that, but they only use kind of descriptions. Like they can make the tablets. You know.
They make tablets? They make tablets, not pills?
Yeah, it's the pills, but it's like it's compressed. I'm just saying tablets, pills. I figured that was all the same. I don't know, but it's like they're kind of like big. I guess you can get whatever size you want, but how they do their pills, it's not capsules, so it's just pressed. How they do their pills is real good. You know, and most people go through them to get the pills pressed. You know, but that's like the only company. But I don't know any companies or anybody who deals with the Gossalar like powder. And that'll be something real good to make that one out of powder or a little tablets or whatever. That'll be real good.
So Matthew, that was asking the question, his question was this: does anybody know who does capsules or anybody who does capsules have any tips on packaging? I'm doing it by hand with a capsule maker. I can make 375 a time. It takes some time. Is there a better method? Is there a time efficient method that isn't cost prohibitive?
Yeah, I probably know a company. Let me see, because I just found this company. I think it's called Capsule Corp.
Because you almost need like a white label capsule maker. In case anybody's wondering what I'm eating, I'm having salad tonight with seared tuna, tomatoes, lettuce, avocado, and this really cool sesame dressing from Costco. Delicious. No, it's good. I couldn't even wait to, I was going to eat it like after the show, and I was just like, fuck it. I'll probably be on here for like 2 hours, so I gotta get my energies up.
Let me see if I can find this company, because I just found a company and you can do a few tablets. You do it by hand, but it's way easier. Let me see what this company is called. If I can find them again. I thought I saved them, but obviously I didn't.
But definitely, I think you should source out some kind of like white label pill maker, or one of those kind of guys that make all the product. And a company that can just source all that work with you. They have the machine and you just run it. I wonder how much a machine like that costs. Because that's another thing that would be like cool if you could get for an association, is like, you know what I mean? You have this organization that you're a part to, and you could send your Seamoss to them, or even have your supplier send the Seamoss directly to them, and they'll come in, clean your Seamoss, grind it, and then put it in the tablets. I know a lot of people that have the operation going, and they'll put it in the tablets for you, but they won't take your Seamoss and put it. You know what I mean? And I think that's critical, because everybody has different Seamoss. Like, then you got a question where, like Matthew was saying, a lot of these companies source their products from Asia. You're gonna have to question where they're sourcing their products from, if it's not your own product.
Yeah, see, like, that's why you have to deal with companies which no one really holds the Vacilar, like the bigger companies, Star West. But when you go to Star West, they tell you exactly where the products come from. That company is one of the only companies that test everything that come in. Star West Botanicals and Mount Rose, that's been like the companies that have been doing this for forever. But that's the only company that has their own farms with most of the herbs. Most of their herbs is grown by them. Most of the herbs that they source, that's places that they actually go and see. It's not like me trying to buy some overseas and not knowing how it's processed and stuff. So like, you have different companies that's really trusted, that like everybody uses. If most people that's running herbal companies or that has herbal products, they have to go through them. Most likely you're going through them to get certain things made, or if you need it mass produced, most likely they'll make it for you. So, that's the only two companies, Star West and Mount Rose. And those two companies actually make products that everybody talks about, like, oh, this. I'm not gonna say no names, but these two companies, like, everybody, they make a lot of products, basically. Star Wars Botanicals and Mount Rose, like a lot of products, because they do private label. Like, that's the only company I would like
trust.
As far as make tablets and things. But like Solar, like nobody does that. Like, hey, bro.
Yeah.
You might as well start. I mean, you can get like a grinders and things that can make the Seamoss out of powder. Plus, you can get the things that compress the powder into tablets and things.
Mm-hmm.
Right? They sell that type of stuff on AliExpress.
Mm-hmm. So we've been all over about this powder, right? And that's part of the reason why we haven't done it, because we really couldn't make up our mind on how we want to do it. But I think the way we're going to end up doing it, at least for now, is we're going to end up having a company that my partner is associated with in St. Lucia sell us, supply us with the powdered Seamoss, because I don't know, he sourced out the powders. These guys, I'm not sure what they're doing, but it is it's reported to be the best powdered Seamoss on the island.
Yeah.
It's really fine consistency with like absolutely like no salt taste and stuff like that. So I do. He's gonna send some samples for us to try soon, but I was speaking to him recently, and he kind of said to me, "I want you to start letting people know about this stuff." And yeah, and recently they were up in the whatchamacallit. They were up in the country sourcing out herbs, and so we're gonna probably have some herbs in the next shipment or two. Stuff like more babonde, more what is it? Soursop leaves, and cinnamon sticks. That's going to be a new thing that we're going to have.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm excited to have some cinnamon sticks, and these will be like the raw cinnamon, like from the bark of the tree and stuff.
Y'all gonna set a cinnamon leaves, because I mean that's really hard to get the leaves. Like
Really?
That's so damn hard for me to get. Yes, like that shit damn is impossible.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Like, that's like one of the hardest things for me to get is cinnamon leaves.
Mm-hmm.
But I just post a website on the live chat on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
That's me to you. I just posted a website where you can find like good capsuling.
Oh, is that you when you came? Oh, that was you on YouTube, where you said what's good.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Sneaky deaky guy. Mm. Nice.
Yeah, that website. Did it come up when I posted?
You know what? I wasn't able to see from the screen, and this is in YouTube. You're doing it, right?
Yeah, I posted the website.
Let me just
That's
look and see.
a good place to go search for the little capsule machines.
Mm-hmm.
Even though they sell stuff separately, because they have like an easy tray that you put on a capsule machine where it's like easy load. It's really easy. If you look at both of the videos they have, it's real easy.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I don't think I see the link. Posted, but I do see a comment that Matt said. He said, "I don't trust that. I wash, dehydrate my own. I use a mix of Chondrus and Garcilaria. I have a mill to grind it. It just takes time. I make 10 to 20 packs a day to keep up right now. It usually keeps me busy every night. I have a hard time with putting my name on something that is sketchy. I guess I will have to get to that point that I can afford a pill press." Yep. And that's what I'm curious to see is how much is a pill press, because
Some of them go for 1,500. Some of them go for 500 or 800. Depends on how what quality of pills you want.
Mm-hmm.
If you want them to be quality, you don't want them to be cheap like what's the thing they used to press? I mean, you just don't want to look like no drug that people sell on the street. Like, you don't want to be a press like that. You have to get a real good, expensive press.
Agreed.
You have to hand press too.
Pardon?
I said they have some of the, like the press for the pills.
Yeah.
They have some that you can do by hand, but it's not going to be, it's not going to be that efficient like the pills may fall apart.
Yeah, I think that's what he has. He has not exactly a pill press, but like it's like a how do you say it? Not a mold.
Like capsules?
Yeah, for the capsules.
Oh yeah, the capsules.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would say, I mean, I feel like if you have the powder, you're gonna save money if you get a pill press because you don't have to buy any more of the capsules. So eventually you're gonna save money. I think it's a good investment to go with the pill press.
Mm-hmm.
It's a big investment, but it's good. You just gotta find the right one.
Mm-hmm. But then don't you have to like add stuff to the mix so that it binds when you put in the pill?
No, because it can just be a powder and it's pressed. It's pressed so hard that it stays together. It's like chalk.
Mm-hmm.
Like, not gonna say what they sent over here in like chalk form. It's like they call them fingers, but it's just pressed. Nothing is added. It's pressed.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And it's way pressed, and they come like your cocoa sticks, but it's pressed way harder than that. It's like chalk.
Okay. Fair enough.
So a real good press, you can find a real good press that you look professional.
Mm-hmm. Fair enough. Yeah, because I don't really see anybody making actual pills. I see them making the capsules. And I mean, I know you can get a machine that capsule. What would that be? The capsulator? I don't know. But like I said, I think like it would be good to have an organization that people can be a membership to, where they can send their product to go get it done, like capsuled or pilled, and it's almost like you'd pay like it would be at cost or something like that, because it's not so much whatchamacallit, like it wouldn't be a business where they had to make a profit off making your pills. It's just a matter of doing it to you know what I mean, cover the cost of what it would take, the labor to do it, which would make it super cheap.
You may can find that type of stuff. I mean, they have companies where you can send your food and they'll make your food for you. So they may have something out there like that.
Oh, they do. They have guys out there. I'm almost positive that you could send the powder to, or you could send the raw Seamoss and they could powder it and put it into a pill. But my point is kind of like those guys are doing it for a profit, so they're going to charge you a fee. Whereas if you did it through an organization that you were a membership, almost like yeah, like a co-op, it's almost like the co-op buys the machine through the shared profits of everybody. Like everybody puts together and buys one machine that everybody uses, as opposed to everybody buying their own machine.
Yeah, I mean that you can do that. You would have to have like a monthly membership thing.
Yeah.
And I don't think you need that much.
Yeah.
You don't need that many people, but they have to put at least 5, I think, a month. Something that everybody can afford, because you're gonna need a whole bunch of machines, depending on how many people it is.
Mm-hmm.
And then plus the people that's making the pills, they have to get paid. So it has to be something that's really like, set up nice and organized.
Yeah. Well, this is what I'm saying. It's not something that could happen right away, But when the membership grows to say 500 members or 1,000 members, then, you know what I mean, that's some significant power. You know what I mean? And there's enough people in this industry that you could form an organization where everybody's pooling their resources and 500. And I know this, if I had a group of 500 people that were sort of like under one umbrella, the kind of deals that I could go to a company and negotiate, amazing. Yeah, because it's like, you know what I mean, they'll be salivating to get at a group of people, you know, that many people, and do business with them, that you can get stuff cheap. Like I would go to UPS and say, okay, you know, the combined shipping of all of us together is probably a million. You know what I mean? Give us a deal. Or what about bottles? Imagine we all pooled together and bought a container of bottles from China, and we were shipping those containers. You know what I mean? Every 6 months, a new shipment of containers were getting in, so that it's almost like, you know what I mean? You need bottles, you just call your guy and they ship it to you, and you're paying costs for the bottles.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know, we can even go and get fancier bottles or special designs shipped in and stuff like that. That's where I see it. Even building like a marketing company and having an in-house design and marketing company. So imagine you're a member and you can go and make a phone call or shoot an email and say, I need some labels designed. And there'll be a team of designers that are familiar with proper label container sizes and all that kind of shit. And they'll sit on the phone with you and be like, oh, okay, do you want to look like this? You want to look like that? Da, 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 da. No problem. And then boom, bam, they design it. You know what I mean? It's possible. I mean, that's what happens at my office, right? We, as an agent, put this fee into our brokerage, and they give us all these services. We have training. We have the in-house design team. We have people that like write all our offers and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't lift my finger to do half the shit that normal agents do. No, dude, it's comical, and I laugh at some of them when they go, oh, I gotta go write an offer. I'm like, you write your offers? Like, you serious? They're like, what? You don't write your own offers? I'm like, fuck no. I send an email and I say, this person, that person, how much, this much, these are the terms. You know what I mean? And then I get an email with it, and I load it up in my DocuSign, and I add a couple signatures, and bam, you know. But yeah. So that's, you know what I mean? To me, that would be ideal. And there's a lot of people that are looking for that sort of like guide, like that kind of services. Do you know what I mean? And then imagine that same organization, it's like all the vendors that are supplying the Seamoss to all these different, like you have like a trade list of different vendors. You know what I mean? And it wouldn't be something just from St. Lucia. You would have vendors like all over the world. And so you're working in Africa, you can apply to us to be a vendor. You have to meet certain, criteria. You got to send us your ID, let us know who you are, that kind of thing. And that adds a layer of safety and security to the buyer. You know what I mean? And so you come on as a member and you're almost like pre-vetted, right? And so now Yusuf can go and look on this list and say, okay, I can buy. Because if there is a problem, you could call us up and we could revoke their membership.
Yeah.
Right? And if you're doing a lot of sales, you don't want to fuck with your membership. You know what I mean? And then in the future, like, we could build an escrow thing where we're facilitating the thing. And you could even just go on a website and have your pick of different vendors of who you want to do business with. And it might even be possible. I know this is thinking crazy, but it's like, if it becomes stable enough, these sellers can start shipping their products to a warehouse, and there's, you know what I mean? Instead of you having to buy the Seamoss from them directly yeah, they send it to.
It's basically they shipping their stuff to a warehouse. And it's basically be something like how Amazon does.
Yeah, or
Amazon holds a lot of product, and you buy from them, and they ship it to you. You don't buy directly from
that person.
The seller all the time.
Yeah. So it's kind of like Amazon, but it would be more like the association.
Not exactly like, but
yeah, it's like the association could act as a third-party logistics, and so you as a because here's the thing: if you're going to create this association, you almost have to create it on both, like to benefit the buyers and the sellers. And so as a seller, you could go in and send your Seamoss to the place. They'll receive it, verify it, check it. Fuck, who knows? In the future, it could even be tested. And then now your Seamoss is legit. You know what I mean? And then your customers, you can say to them, okay, give me your information, and yes, Matthew, like a form of drop shipping. And I'm telling you, dude, it works great. Like I do a lot of drop shipping for customers. And what happens is some of them even just send me money and I have it there. And when they get an order, they say, okay, ship this Seamoss to this person. Because when they send me that money, I almost lock in that Seamoss. Like you bought that Seamoss from me. You know what I mean? Now you just got to tell me where to deliver it. And I'll hold it until you tell me when and where to deliver it. And so that's what they do. They just call me and say, okay, ship 10 pounds to this person, ship 5 pounds to that person, boom, bam, you know? And so that's something that the association could handle. And, because one of the, and it's cool that I'm having these meetings, like these, how do you say it? These I don't want to call them coaching sessions. There's no more coaching. It's more like brainstorming sessions with these other suppliers, because I see and hear the challenges that they have. And one of the major ones is that really directly as a farmer or like a seller, or like on the islands, in any of these islands, it's very difficult for them to sell less than 10 pounds. But that's where the majority of the higher profits are. Do you know what I mean? And so they're getting killed on the shipping. You know what I mean? It's almost like people are turned off because of that. But if they could sorry.
Basically, you drop ship from people. They buy it. How do you do that?
How do I do that? So I do it in different ways. Like there's no one set arrangement that I have with one person, like with everybody. So some people send me money and they say, I want to buy, X amount of pounds, hold it for me, and I'll tell you where I want it shipped. And then they'll do that, and then I'll charge them for the shipping. You know what I mean? Plus a little bit of the handling fee for the boxes and stuff like that. There's other people that it's like they just call me up and say, okay, and a lot of times these are good, like they're people that they'll buy, say, 20 pounds off me, but they'll call me and say, hey, I got a 15-pound order. Can you deliver it to this, and that? I'll send you the money. Because the time it takes for me to ship that to them and then ship it out to someone else, it's just like, why pay the double shipping charges and the extra few days when I can ship it right to them? And when I ship it to them, I put all their information on the label. So the only way you could figure out that it came from me is by the address that it was shipped from. And that I can't get around.
Yeah, just look at the track.
Yeah, the location. But you would only know the location. You know what I mean? Like 434 Birchmount. But you know what I mean? And even when I ship my labels, I just put Canada Warehouse on it. We don't put our company name. Although I think I should change that. But one of the reasons why I didn't do it, and I just put Canada Warehouse, is because I didn't want people trying to figure out what was in the box in case they wanted to hold it up. You know what I mean? For customs or whatever. So then they can see what it is because I have to label it on the description. But sometimes when you see, St. Lucian Seamoss Company, it's like, oh, what's this? It makes you want to look more into it. But those are some of the ideas and the vision of this Seamoss association I have. It's just I'm stuck at the challenge of how do I get the ball rolling? Like, how do I start it? Do you know what I mean? And what do I have in the first phase? Because it's obvious I can't make all this stuff happen overnight. So it's almost like I gotta need to sit down and develop like a roadmap. Okay, we're gonna start with this, and when we accomplish this, we'll go to this, and we'll go to that, and you know what I mean?
Yeah, you just need people in place to do that. Like you gotta find the right people to be in place.
Yeah.
And you may need just little warehouses here and there. You know, not even warehouses. You're just gonna need like storage facilities, I guess. You can find like commercial store facilities anywhere, like they have them down here. But you know, I mean, I wouldn't know how you would run it from there, but you know, at least having warehouses in different places, like you said, you have one in Georgia, right? Yeah, like that's, you know, that's good because you can ship from anywhere, no matter where you're at. So, you know, I mean, that's the only way I can kind of see the shipping be easy, or you know. I see, what's this company I buy my juice from? Press Juicery, I think that's what it's called. They have different, like, warehouses, I would say, different stores. Depending on where you're at, they send it from the store that's closest to you because it only takes 2 days to get to you.
Yeah, because it has to be, whatchamacallit, it has to be quick because otherwise it's going to spoil.
Right? Yeah, and I get it from them all the time because the main place is in California. But when they ship it to me, it can come from Florida, it can come from Tennessee, it can come from Texas, it can come from multiple places. So but, you know, I was trying to figure out how they get it to me so fast.
But that's probably also like they have to have these multiple locations in order, because it's almost like they have to make the juice and ship it out that day, you know what I mean? And so if they had to do it all from one location like California, it might take too long to get to you, or they could probably only ship out on a certain day to make sure it arrives to you on time and doesn't, you know what I mean, stay in transport. You know, be curious to see how their business model works. You know what I mean, when it comes to that sort of deployment. But I know, like in like Atlanta, like I can get it anywhere in the country in 2 days or 3 days. You know. Yeah. So T Mathers keeps asking, he wants to know why we're talking about Seamoss, and yes, we're talking about eating seaweed, and Seamoss, just so you know, is an algae. It's a superfood. It has lots of vitamins and nutrients, high in potassium, magnesium, phosphorus, zinc, iron, and a lot of the building blocks that you need, different amino acids and stuff like that for good bodily function. So I recommend, like, you know, we could talk forever about what is Seamoss and the benefits of Seamoss, but I recommend you spend a little time researching it on Google and reading a little bit about the algae. The kinds of algae that we eat are like we're talking mostly about is the Seamoss that is considered, I think it's a red algae, right, Yusuf?
Yeah, red or brown algae.
Yeah. Well, the
species you talk about.
Yeah, so the ones we talk mostly about are the red ones, which is Garcilaria, Condorus crispus and stuff. The brown ones, I think, is like kelp, nori, and a few other ones that mostly I've never really talked too much about them. And what is the other one? Dulse.
Yeah.
Dulse, I think it's supposed to be really good. I haven't tried it yet, but.
Yeah, and it's easy to learn about them. It's better to learn about them or look them up. Just look up seaweed or marine life, like different ways to search for them, because you just put Seamoss in. Seamoss, you know, most likely Garcilaria is gonna come up. But if you search like seaweed, find like books about seaweed, cookbooks, anything, science books, it gives you a broader perspective, or it gives you more information than just looking up Seamoss. Because that's not like really a good way to.
I was just about to say that, and I think that's something that doesn't get mentioned a lot, is that when you try to look up Seamoss using the term Seamoss, you're not going to get a lot of good, accurate information. And you actually have to search for seaweeds. And then you start reading the broader picture of all the information about the seaweeds, including sea mosses. Yeah, so definitely do some searching on seaweeds.
Yeah, and it's good to know the difference, because one is anabolic, like, and one is catabolic. It's two different things.
Is that the difference between sea moss and seaweeds?
No. Seamoss is seaweed. Like the difference between the two different types of seaweed that they call seamoss, like the chondrostricus and the gossalar. One is more like anabolic, one is more catabolic. It's not bad. Don't mean one's better. Doesn't mean one's not. They're two different things. You can't compare. Like everyone earns, you can't compare. But both are different. Both are good. But if I'm trying to lose weight, I'm going to use the gossalar because I know how to use it to lose weight. If I'm trying to build muscle and gain weight, I'm going to use the chondrostricus.
Oh, that's what I guess people are.
That's the difference. Like if I'm fasting, I'll use the gossalar, and then after I'm finished fasting, I'm trying to build muscle, I'll use the chondrostricus.
Okay, I didn't know that. I mean, I've heard people say that, but I always thought that it was like just their opinion. You know what I mean? Like they didn't have any. But when you say like one is this type, one is that type, and that these types are traditionally like this, it makes sense. Interesting.
Yeah, like it's like a bodybuilder. When they want to lose weight, they have to put their body in like a catabolic state to lose the fat, and then when they're trying to gain weight, it has to be in an anabolic, so they can gain a lot of muscle. So it's in all different, different foods, different vegetables are like that, but they both are good. You just have to know how to use them.
Yeah. Agreed.
And you can take both of them down there every day. Like you can take both of them every day. Like I can eat a 32 ounces gel. I can eat the Seamoss gel 32 ounce container.
I was just thinking about just now. Sorry to change the subject, but it just popped in my mind. Is Kevin? So he's been talking shit about me, right? And talking shit about St. Louis. You probably know. You just don't want to stir the pot. So it's gotten back to me that he's talking shit about me, and I kind of want to go and troll him a little. You know what I mean? Just stress him out a bit. Like, oh, you want to talk shit about me? Hey, here, I'll give you something to talk about, fucker. Excuse my language. But it hurts. It hurts. It hurts to have him. I know he feels like we had differences or whatever. But like, dude, when you look at all the shit that I did for the guy, even if what he thought was true, to me, I would have just watched it and been like, whatever. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I gave that guy fucking a lot of my time. I helped that guy out a lot. You know what I mean? I gave him business. I vouched for him. I called people up and said, yes, do business with this guy. Like, you know what I mean? I tried to arrange a lot of shit with him, for him. He came on all my lives, got business from that. Like, never once did I ever try to take money, like stand in his way of getting money. You know what I mean? And so for him to then turn around and just talk shit about me, it's just like, You're so two-faced.
Yeah, no, like I had some the China root. Because China root comes out like China root is good.
Mm-hmm.
But the rest of the herbs just can't make it here without it like going bad. But the China root that actually dries good, like that lasts. But it's a certain way how you have to wash the herbs. You know, he should wash his herbs in like water. But he should use food grade peroxide because that'll stop the bacteria growth and fungus or whatever that's in it, and then he should dry it out for a few days or a week or two, and then ship it. You know, he has to make sure it's vacuum sealed and ship his herbs out of something he can put like those packs in it to keep the moisture out of it.
Yeah. If it's dried right, it ships no problem. I still have soursop leaves from a year ago. How is my stuff like always fine? You know what I mean? And then this stuff is like spoiled, like beyond like what the fuck. And you know it. You know what you're shipping. You know what I mean? And when he ships the stuff, he doesn't clean the herbs. It's all full of sticks and everything. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think my biggest mistake was I didn't weigh the stuff before I started with him. And it was something in the back of my head was like, Julian, you should weigh this so you know what you're dealing with. And I was just like, fuck it, whatever. I'm just gonna sell the herbs. He'll make enough money. He's not gonna worry. And then that's the problem in any sort of partnership or business. You kind of like you dismiss the flags, the warning signs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like looking back, I wish I had listened to my instinct and just waited. And who knows, it would have been off. You know what I mean? Because his scales could be fucked. You know, like someone the other day kind of messaged me and told me that I was off by 6 pounds. I was like, no fucking way. Like there's no way I'm off. Period. Do you know what I mean? I always overweigh the Seamoss.
Yeah, you actually do, because I was like, man, I like this dude put a lot of Seamoss in this box.
I always overweigh. It's always over by 4, at least 2 to 4 ounces. Sometimes up to a half a pound. I'll weigh. Like if you're getting 500, like 50 pounds or 100 pounds, yeah, I'm you know what I mean. I'm not giving it 100 pounds exactly. Come on, that's an insult. You know what I mean? But and it ensures that I never have to question whether or not I weighed it right. You know what I mean? Now
I do the same thing. I put a pound over in it. What you mean it was
yeah, it was never under. So I'm curious to see. Like I asked him to weigh it up and show me a picture. I think it's the way he weighed it, and I think it's the scale that he has. Because I have a scale that can weigh up to 400 pounds one shot. And if you're weighing up your, say 50 pounds in 1 pound bags, not every pound is going to be a pound exactly.
Yeah, and he has to it depends on what kind of scale he's using. Like I don't really trust digital scale. That's just me. I'd rather use a triple beam.
Yeah, you're old school.
To weigh stuff, because that's how I learned as far as baking. I learned on a triple beam. And a triple beam, I think, is one of the most accurate things to use, especially when it comes down to like powder food and different things. Like I think, but the triple beam may take a little while to learn how to use it, but to me that's good when you're dealing with certain things.
I just remembered like something back when I was a kid. I remember like my brother used to sell a lot of pot, him and his best friend back then, and they stole a triple beam from the science lab, and so they would travel around with this fucking triple beam and all this weed in their knapsack and be selling like dimes, off the triple beam. I just remember like looking at him. Yeah. I remember looking at him like, oh, you guys are fucking nuts, man. You guys are just wild. Like, what the fuck? They're like, triple beam and your naps, and sometimes it would stick out. You know what I mean? Because it's such a big contraption. You know.
I'm looking for one of those right now.
Those are the best. They're super accurate. You know what I mean? And it's because you can.
It's the weights that come with it. That's it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're super accurate. You just got to make sure your weights are on. And this one you had to like zero it out because it was out of balance. And so you'd weigh it on the table, you'd zero it, and then you would put a weight on it to test it, and then they would weigh it, whatever. Good old triple beam.
A lot of people don't even know what that is.
And I know. That's like when you brought it up, I was like, this guy's old school. I remember I used to weigh the weed on the Slim Jim. You remember those? The spring loaded. Like,
yeah, I got one of those.
Oh gosh, those are the worst. But digitals are pretty accurate. Like I like even growing up. But what you got to do is you got to always like.
Adjust it, bring it all the way down to zero.
Yeah, or you throw some weights on it every once in a while and make sure it's accurate. You know what I mean? Like it's still weighing on, and that's what we do. I have in my scales. I have like a 500-pound weight or whatever, 50-pound, or I have a 500-gram weight. So I zero it out on a 1 pound on the scale, and I have two scales. I have a big scale for large weights, and then I have a smaller scale for smaller weights. So I know my shit's like hella accurate, like super accurate, you know. And then I overweigh it, you know what I mean? I put more Seamoss than what is, and that's what I find is funny. Never once has anybody ever called me and said, "Hey, you know, you're a little heavy on this Seamoss, or you know, you gave me an extra pound on this order." but have it be, 2 ounces short, and I'm getting a phone call. I think one time I even shipped, like, it was in a rush, and I accidentally shipped Seamoss, the wrong Seamoss to the wrong people, and someone got like 15 pounds of purple, and because I know I packed it and I couldn't figure out, the person I sent it to never got it, and so it had to be something where I got the boxes mixed up and I sent the wrong box to the wrong person.
I didn't even know
it. Yeah, they're like, "Hey, it's Christmas." So, but I put measures in place to make sure that shit doesn't happen anymore. But, you know, I'm excited. Actually, I'm about to get another shipment this week. And no, so I don't have the list exactly of all the herbs, but I have a bunch of new herbs coming in. My partner went up into the Heights. I wonder if I can even show the video. And they went up and went hunting, foraging for different herbs and stuff like that. Actually, there's this one video, so fucking funny. I died when I because me and him, we fucking like jokes all the time. Like when we were like in St. Lucia, it was like nonstop fucking, you know what I mean? Fucking around and shit like that. And so I'm going to pull up the video here. Let me see if I can find it. Of him. Like, he made this joke about me and these limes. It was so funny. Like, it was so stupid that it was funny. You know? Where is it? Is this the one?
Yeah, so we are to the top. We are way up, way in the middle of nowhere. But pure vegetation and farming. You know, we have big lemon trees, lemon trees. We have coconuts, short coconut tree. We have short coconut trees.
Huh?
Lots of
that was lemon. True. Yeah, but that's not for us. He'll say some other stuff.
Cows. Yeah, Mr. Moon.
But he's up in the country.
Mr. Moon.
Huh? Down there, cows, bro, just roam everywhere. Like,
wow, we should really bring this sack for us to take some food.
Like they're in the middle of like.
No.
Yeah, so they're like in the middle of like heights in some jungle. I think they're on probably one of their family's land or something. Like where no one comes, and the cow's just sitting there. Like, what's up, bro?
Yeah. It's so nice, sir. You have a pear tree. I'm one tree. Yeah, one. Yeah.
Yeah. Is that good?
Yes,
Coconut root? I've never.
Banana.
I'll ask him about that. He probably could get.
When you go to the time, go to.
Mm-hmm.
No, see, that's when you go to.
Bourbon Day, yeah.
I think they call that hardwood.
Mm-hmm. I'm dying to learn that.
Let me hear about it. What I'm thinking? Where's that for, though? See.
Who?
The noni fruit, they call it cheese fruit.
Okay, I'll have to ask him. That's yeah, lemon in the can. Where is? I gotta find the video. It's like I think when they first get there, and they're looking at the lemons. Is this one?
Yeah. So.
No, I just played.
We are to the top.
Yeah. This is the one. Dude, you're gonna die.
Yeah. We under the bois. To come and collect the things to kill the COVID. We call it lemon la. Nula amuta as like Zika.
And that's like organic lemons,
right? You need Diego Gwen. Somebody up.
You need Gwen Munla. When yesterday,
watch this.
Yeah, those things look like Julian's balls.
Yeah, Julian
balls, man.
Yeah.
Woo, Julian balls. Julian balls.
Oh, our battery is a bit low. Our battery is a bit low right now, man. What are you gonna do with that shit? You gonna catch it?
Like, bro, when he said it, like I'm watching the video when he said that, I fucking it was so funny. I was just like, I had to watch it like 10 times because that's just so him. Like he knows like all these people are gonna be watching it, and he'll just slip that. Yeah, probably. I'll ask him. What I'd like to try and like build down there is a way that we can like find and dry all kinds of herbs and just package them up and stuff like that. And so like where you can have everything: lemon leaves, cinnamon leaves, this leaves, soursop leaves, bay leaves. We have it all. You know what I mean?
Do they have jackfruit down
I believe so. They have everything.
Soursop too.
Yep. Oh yeah, soursop everywhere, dude. I have a soursop tree in my backyard.
Do you like the fruit?
Yeah.
I barely eat them.
Huh?
You barely eat the fruit.
Not too much. I eat the fruit. But here's the thing. It's so messy and sticky and stuff. I'll drink the juice. So what my dad will do is, and honestly, bro, he doesn't let me near that fucking tree. If he sees me like to the tree, what are you doing near the soursop tree? No, you know what I mean. So I'm not allowed to pick the fruit or any of that shit. And
are you able to send seeds from over there?
I don't know. I'll have to ask him. I'll have to ask him.
If you can dry out the soursop fruit, you can dry the fruit out itself. People will buy it as well.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I know I'll buy it, dry it out. You know?
What do you mean? Like the soursop dried, like in a powder?
No, just it can be the fruit, the inside of the fruit, just dry it out. It don't have to be turned to a powder.
Okay.
I just buy the pulp, just dry it out with a meat or the pulp, whatever they call it. I'll just use that dried out.
I'll have to ask him. I'm pretty sure you could probably get that.
But if you can send those lemon seeds and soursop.
Yeah, those were. Yeah.
The package is probably put in the Seamoss box.
But you see.
They all the more seeds coming over there.
But you see that there in the video, he's got the organic lemons.
Yeah, that's what I was looking at. I was like, that was some lemon. I forgot what they called, but I saw different type of lemons. Those I saw those before.
Mm-hmm. I know I'm showing this to you.
They got some lemons that's kind of sweet too.
Really?
I wish I could have showed everybody the grapefruit. My uncle's, no, not the grapefruit. It was lemons. His lemons were like big, like grapefruit or bigger. Some of his lemons got like double the size of grapefruit.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm talking about it was like cantaloupe size, like all bigger.
Wow.
You know? And how he used to grow it, like, I didn't understand how he used to grow them that big. But he had his little way how he used to trim the tree and things like that. His lemons would just grow huge. Like, I'm talking about cantaloupe size and basketball size. Lemons, I used to always think that they were grapefruit, but he used to get so big, it wasn't just sour, it was bitter as well, like grapefruit.
Mm-hmm.
It gets bitter. As it gets bigger, it gets sour and bitter.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to ask him when I see him, because I wonder if he's still growing like that.
Mm-hmm. So apparently someone pointed out, corrected me in the video, it's sour orange. Those weren't lemons. And I think he's right, because my dad gets a lot of sour oranges. But the lemons down there look like the sour oranges where they're all wrinkled, and they don't look like the lemons up here. And so, but I know the sour oranges, they look like this. The lemons and the sour oranges look the same, except that the sour orange is more like an orange shape, where the lemon has more of a lemon shape. At least that's my experience. I could be wrong. But in the video that I'm showing here, they're actually going to go down to a water spring. Oh, you know what? He just found blue vervain just sitting in the wild. I remember he was talking about that while he was walking.
You gotta take your time there, sir. That's where it is.
Well, look at that. That's all bananas growing wild. Did I miss the part where he showed the bees on there?
Because we have a whole bunch of banana trees in the wall. We have a lot of banana trees there.
Really? Yeah, they just grow everywhere. It's like that too in St. Lucia, or people will just grab a bunch when it's ripe. So he's farming out here, growing dasheen there.
Yeah, this is some coconut. You know, you rinse your heart. It gets so clear. You can see it. Now we're going down into the jar. You gotta take your time there, sir.
I know something as he's walking down here, he finds the blueberry thing.
Yeah. Got some oranges.
Yeah. There's a sour orange. And all this stuff is just growing wild out there. It's not like someone, maybe someone planted it years ago. Well, they do. They have the guy, one of the guys goes, climbs up in the tree, and the guy's like a monkey. You know what I mean? Literally. And they're making jokes about it because he was like jumping from branch to branch. So check this out here. This is a natural spring where the water is just coming out of the mountain.
We have the water source. We have water coming from the rocks. See?
Isn't that like that water is so rich in minerals and stuff?
Fresh water. Fresh water.
This is the life here.
Fresh water. Give me some water to drink too. I have to drink some fresh water. You want to drink? No, oh yeah, I have to video taking your water. Yeah.
Oh, okay, so I see the natural spring going down into the little water.
Yeah.
I see the little hole is the spring.
Yeah, there's a little tiny, see where it is right there? That's where the water's coming up. And then the pools here, that's where the dirt is. But this is the fresh area.
Yes.
Pour
it out. Make sure. Pour it out. No, pour it out.
But I think that's fresh there.
Okay.
Yeah. Come on, that's the freshest. You really have nothing in it.
Look at that.
Yeah. Oh. Seamoss? Oh. Yeah, helicopter. You want it?
Yeah, but I'm...
Wait. The yellow flower there. That's the water rush.
Have you heard of that, Herb? Castiolata or something like that? Maybe it's just the way they speak it in their French. I'll play it again. But they're basically...
You want it?
Yeah, but I'm...
Wait. You think it's the yellow flower there? That's the flower. Yellow flower.
Everybody Chris, me
Yeah, Cassia, very good for your liver.
I say whole bunch of them right.
See, so no, when you get the herbs from us, we're getting it like this is how we're getting it. You know what I mean? So, huh? Yeah, that's cassia. That's cassia. Cassia.
Fresh.
Yeah, the Rasta one is Zion.
Yeah, man. I am like a lion Zion.
Yeah. Look at his dread.
Rasta.
This guy's crazy.
Yeah, man.
What'd you ask me?
Fresh water, you.
Cassia. And watch, he's gonna clean the dog with the herbs and wash them down with it.
And then legs for the passive. I see that something on the leg though. All white balls there. Yeah. That's the red thing. Yeah, all on there.
The mosquito kill him, Gasa. That's what they call everybody down there. Gasa. Gasa. Awa. Think about it, bro. When I was in St. Lucia, we did shit like that every day. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I think there might be some flowers, but he's getting the leaves, it looks like. He got the leaves and some of the sticks and stuff. But this is
Some flowers. Yeah.
that's so crazy. I still can't get over that. Like that has like water just coming out of the mountain, out of a hole like that. Like, could you imagine living in that sort of like environment where it's like you're in, you know what I mean? Like totally off the grid, like that's your life right there, the water source. That's all you really need. Everything else you can get. You know what I mean? Like once you have your water source, you're good. Yeah. So another thing we're gonna get is this nutmeg, and I think this is like some kind of special nutmeg because I don't really see the mace on it being red. Is the mace on it always red or?
Yeah.
Okay. I always thought it was like brown, like a different color.
Oh
Yeah, man.
Oh.
Never see.
Mm-hmm.
They have natural nutmeg up there as well. That's good because that's hard to find.
Mm-hmm. I got some coming. I think he's calling a bird.
God knock it so.
Big ones on the tree. On the mango tree, what is it?
He's calling the bird.
That's a good try.
The big.
The big one.
Mm-hmm. I think this is when they climb up in the tree for the sour oranges. Watch him climb.
Come on. Climb up here in the tree.
Mom, man, just a lot you want to.
Oh, dude, I miss hanging out with these guys. Like it's such the not the easy life. You know what I mean? Like no stress compared to like life up here. Oh my god, life there's easy. Look how high he is in that tree. You see him there?
When you got all them oranges.
That's fucking high. Bro.
Every blood plant, you gonna do that? Go ahead.
And he's throwing him down to him. And that's what's crazy. That's free. You know what I mean? So it's like, hey, what do you want to do today? Let's go out. Let's go up in the hills and pick 3 fruit. And probably the freshest.
Uy, bueno, me siento mal, so. Dice que eres buena.
Because they almost got hit with the ball. With a fucking orange picture right on it.
Nice one. That's so it's everything for me. We must flip by the corner. And it's you to make sure I get it. Yeah. Yeah.
I wonder if they're gonna fill that sack up.
Bueno, oh, I say up by my side, right up in the ice. I coming back down. Look, we must now. Yeah. One thing, one.
All right. Yeah.
It's only a little sauce.
The man strong.
Look at all the herbs in the truck.
Bunch of Africans. Watch them. You have the baboon in its natural habitat. Watch as the baboon caresses the leaves. That's his first time seeing the van. The baboon is sitting on the van. He has never seen a van before. Yeah, Lord. You walking though?
Running down with the dog. The dog in the car. I think they're shooting birds. Because if you look, they have these like. Looks like the highest point. That's where they were. Up there. And then you see that White House? Or you see this like little white speck here in the distance? That's where I live. Like that's not my house. I wish it was. But my house is like literally next door to that house. So I'm at a point like I'm on the top of like this mountain ridge at the tip of the island. That's where we live. So I get to see all the like the village and I mean the town below and everything. Yeah. And that's St. Lucia. That's us going collecting herbs. Yeah. Yeah, man. And you see this guy here? I actually kind of want to take a moment to, I don't want to say a moment of silence, but this kid here is friends with my partner, and he passed away. He was shot by the cops on Friday. Yeah. Hmm? Yeah, man. It's pretty sad. You know what I mean? 17 years old. And what's crazy is this photo was taken just recently because they were at another funeral for another one of my partner's friends who was gunned down, who like I personally knew and knew this guy to be like an amazing guy, like a really cool guy. His name was Christian, and they called him Mop. And like I'll never forget one time. I don't know what happened to my partner, but somehow he left me to go do something, and I ran into one of his buddies that knew me, and we started drinking, and I got really drunk. And so the guy had me walking all around town, going into these shops for drinks and shit like that, right? I found out later that the guy just wanted people to know that he knew a Canadian. It's fucked up. But at the time, I'm walking through this square, right? And the guy Mop sees me. I'll never forget the look on his face. And it was one of those things where he gave me the look like, what the fuck? Like, what are you doing here? Like, because it was like, I was by myself, right? And then he saw me with this next dude. And so he was just like, what? Like, and so he called my partner right away. And he was like, yo, like, because like 2 minutes after me speaking to him, I get a phone call. And my partner is like, where are you? What's going on? Like, are you okay? Who are you with? And I tell him who I'm with. And he's like, oh, okay, phew. You know what I mean? He's like, my friend called me and said that he saw you on the street drunk with some guy. And I wanted to, you know what I mean? He was worried that you were going to get set up to be robbed or something. Yeah. So like, this is the kind of guy that, you know what I mean? He thinks of people and he's looking out for me. And, we hung out a lot of times. Like we would, there's times where my partner had to do things and like me and him would just hang out at his house. You know what I mean? And kick it or drive around in the car because we had a car rental when I was there. So like, we go run, do errands or whatever. And he was just like real cool dude, and then he got shot in the head. He was just in the wrong part of town, and some guys rolled up on him, and it's kind of like he wasn't really a gang member or anything like that, but associated with people, and so it was almost like guilty by association, like you were on the wrong side of town, kind of thing. Sad, and this shit, like in my opinion, I feel like it like I don't know, it needs to stop, and if there's anything I can do to help take more kids off the street or create more opportunities so that it's harder for people to be caught up into these situations, I'm gonna do my best to do that, to make that happen. Because I don't know, it doesn't need to happen here. You know what I mean? Like, these are good people. You know what I mean? And given a good opportunity, they'll make the best of it. It's not like this country is just full of like lawlessness and criminals and shit like that. It's not. It's like the few apples spoil the bunch. But I know from experience, it's easy to get caught up in that lifestyle and that environment when you feel like you don't have options. You know what I mean? Like many of my friends that went down those kind of criminal route or fast, whatever, it was like they felt like, fuck it. Like, I'm not going to make it in the corporate world. I'm not going to make it in this world. This is the world that fits for me. And that's not true. Yeah, it felt like it was the only way. Yeah. That was the only option they had. So they dove right in it. And it's not. And, in those sort of environments where they're living in, it's easy. Like, when you have youth employment as high as 35%, you know what I mean, and overall national employment at 20%, it's easy to feel like you don't have a shot. You know what I mean? And you'll never, make something of yourself. You know what I mean? And everybody wants to aspire to be the person that's respected and looked up to. And, and this goes for any any country. You know what I mean? Sometimes the criminals are the ones that are, it's like their first scene. You know what I mean? Like that seems more obtainable to them. Yeah. Which yeah, but the reality is that if you put that amount of effort into anything, you're going to be successful at it. You know what I mean? And so, if you put a certain amount of effort into selling stolen items, you put that same effort into selling legit items, you'll sell it. It all comes down to desire. Most people's success is because they don't desire it enough. They don't desire enough to make the decisions that are necessary or take the risks or the sacrifices to give them the results that they really want or that they're hoping for. Yeah. And that was one of my main things when I was talking to people, like in these kind of coaching calls. It was like, how much time are you really investing in your business? Do you know what I mean? Because me, I spend at least 3 to 4 hours, like consistently every day, trying to get business. Whether it's working on ads or it's working on messaging people, following up with people, um, whatever. There's some sort of prospecting going on during the day at all times, you know, and you have to treat it like a job where, like, every day you're putting in 5 hours, 6 hours a day. If you're not putting 6 hours a day consistently to your business, then there's your answer right there. You know, so boom. What are you doing? What are you doing?
Oh, nothing. Just eating a damn piece of brownie, but yeah, like that's what I want. I want to put more time into a business at home than working for somebody, for a company, because you know you either working 8 hours, 12 hours with a company that you work for, you don't even put that much in on yourself.
That's the number one thing I see a lot of people do, is that they'll put more effort into the job that they're doing for someone else than any job that they're doing. And I don't blame them in a sense, because part of the reason is they want to keep their job, so they're making sure that they put enough effort so that they don't go through the embarrassment of being fired, right? Because some people see that as embarrassment. I honestly feel like when someone fires me, they're doing me a favor. Because really, I don't want to be there. You know what I mean?
Well,
like,
yeah, I never got fired.
yeah. I'll say that I quit a lot, but when I did get fired, it was because I wanted to. If I wanted that job, it was rare that I lost a job that I wanted. But you know, sometimes you fuck up. You know, people are just like, yeah, you're done. Which, you know, I get. You know, that's how sometimes the world works, right? But yeah. You have to put the time into the business. Well, what would you do? What kind of business would you do if you had a choice to do a business? Like, would it be Seamoss, or would you do something else?
I would do that, but I don't think I'll focus too much on that. If I do, it'd be some, website or something where they're order I deliver it. Come in the city, but I wouldn't spend too much time on it, because most likely if I'm going to business like that, I would only want to start it like use my own product. Like in the eye of your own supply, that's what I do if I did win. I'm only doing it because I want it for myself as well. But no, like I would definitely sell something on the internet, stuff over the internet. I don't want to say what I'm still working on those things.
Sure.
And I want to deal with, as far as like washing out the trailers and stuff, 18 wheels. See how much money is, in that.
Yeah, that's actually a pretty good business. Being like almost like a mobile power washer.
Yeah, exactly. That's what he's trying to do. So I can pull my truck and do that for a man.
And maybe if you could figure out a way to use some kind of like antibacterial solution or something like that, so it's not only like it's clean, but you know, it's almost like it's like a bleach on it. You know what I mean? That will disinfect it.
I was checking out all of that type of stuff today. It's certain pH you gotta have in the water, certain chemicals you gotta have in there. Like I was checking all that out, because it has to be like a food grade wash. So if you wash it
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it almost has to be like drinking water, safe to drink kind of thing.
Yeah, so you have to get rid of blood if you have any blood, and you have any type of meat or that chemicals in it, like you have to like clean it out real good.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. You know what I had a thought about the other day? What's going to happen to all these businesses that have been started since to support all the actions with COVID, if in the event that we move away from COVID? And it's almost like, are we going to be able to move away from COVID, even if COVID, like say COVID disappears today? Do we go back to normal or do we stay the way we are? Because if we don't, it could kill a lot of the industry. Like a lot of people would, because there's a lot of businesses that are going to support, like all the places that do PCR tests and all the places that do, drop-in clinics where you're, doing needles and stuff. It's almost like they're all going to be out of a job soon.
Yeah, all places that just deliver, a lot of them going to be out of jobs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so it's like, what's going to happen? Because I do believe it's going to go back to normal. I do believe that people are going to get tired of it, and it's just going to. We always normalize stuff. You know what I mean? The flu was the Spanish flu or whatever was deadly until it became like to the point where we're like, fuck it, we got to live with it, and shit just died out. I don't know. Yeah. I still think that we're over sensationalizing the situation, and rather than taking measures to control or mitigate the real problem, which is the hospital overcrowding and stuff. Like, I don't know, and like no one's caring about building up their immune system to protect themselves from this virus.
Yeah, no, like nobody.
Yeah. The two things that I see that they're not doing that I think that they should be doing that makes me question whether they really know what they're doing is no one's talking about increasing their health and how to fix whatchamacallit, like lungs or whatever, how to, make, increase air capacity or something like that. No one's talking about that. And no one's disinfecting the areas that are high traffic or taking steps to like check people's temperature and shit like that.
They were doing it at first. I guess they got tired. It was like, oh, we ain't got the money or the manpower.
This is it. This is where I question the reality, like the severity of this thing, because at certain points where if the system didn't work, they changed it. You know what I mean? Well, oh, we don't need to do this. You know what I mean? Like, what was it? Like making sure everybody had a thermometer was too expensive, or you know what I mean? No one wanted to stand at the door and check everybody's temperature. I don't know. At our church, we've always from day one checked everybody's temperature before going in, and that was one thing that made me feel sort of like comfortable and safe, because lots of people think that they're fine, and little do they know, but they're running a fever, and that's one of the biggest sort of indications that you've been contaminated or that you've got the COVID. Yeah. I swear though, my brother's wife used it the other day to get out of an event, claiming she got COVID. I died because they were supposed to go over to my sister's house for some drinks or something, and then one of them bailed, right? And you could tell like that there was just like my wife and my brother's wife that was gonna like, and they're my sister's sister-in-law, so in some ways they're obligated to go, right? And then it was almost like then like 5 minutes later, after the first one dropped out, then my brother's wife was like, "Oh, I just did a rapid test, and the line's a little faint, but I don't want to take any chances."
You don't want to come.
Exactly. No, but that's the thing. She couldn't just say I don't want to come because my sister's a bitch, and my sister would be like, "What do you mean you don't want to come? You're coming. Come right now." You know what I mean? One of those kind of things. Like you have to make it a legitimate excuse, or else she's up your ass about it. So I found it funny. Like the second I saw it, I was like, "Yep, that's a scam right there." That you know what I mean? She just faked an injury. uh, so how's it going with you, Maria? How's your week been?
Not too bad. It's been a little bit quiet. Just doing like my online stuff, packing orders right now.
Nice, nice. That's
Snow, huh?
hmm?
Any snow?
No, the sun's been out lately actually. During the day.
There's still snow on the ground. Don't listen to her.
Yeah, there's still snow on the ground.
There's tons of snow everywhere. I don't know what she's talking about. No snow.
The sun came out. It was only 15 degrees. It wasn't that bad.
I'm like, someone's trying to look on the bright side. Pardon?
They did a horrible job this winter.
Yes, they did. Especially when it came to clear. They're just starting to clear up a lot of the snow.
Yes, exactly.
Whereas before, but I think part of it too, they probably thought that there was going to be another snowstorm possibly, and you know, they don't want to clear it up when they don't. But there was a lot of sidewalks that weren't plowed like they normally are. There was people freaking out everywhere. Yeah, it was a shit show for the snow.
Yeah. I mean, like I complain when it comes to these certain things because we do pay for these services.
Yeah.
And it's like I am pushing a stroller, you know, and the sidewalk, like only one person can go through it.
Yeah, they barely even plow the certain sidewalks, which is crazy. And then there's neighborhoods, like in my neighborhood, the fucking streets are plowed, like they're plowed and the sidewalks are plowed within an hour. Like it's almost like they're working here nonstop because I'm like, I don't have to shovel my front yard. Like I shovel up to the sidewalk, and then I wait a couple hours, and the guy comes by with the machine, you know, and just drives by and plows and salts it at the same time. So I guess that's what you get when you live in an all-white neighborhood.
Oh, I thought they.
I'm kidding. We don't live in an all-white neighborhood. I'm just fucking around. Because that's.
No,
Hmm? No, I don't. My next door neighbor's black. Yeah. Listen, that's how I know I'm blessed by God. Sorry, what were you gonna say, Yusuf? Yusuf? Well, he's married to a white girl, but she's fucking. Yeah, but she's so cool, dude. Like that girl is like an angel. She's like a living angel. This girl is such a nice lady. Like I've never met someone nicer than her. And she does so much for the community. And she's a principal, and then the community that she works in, or where her school is in a very like sort of rough kind of area. And she like started all these like programs and stuff like that to get the kids into school and get them fed and stuff like that. The girl deserves an award. But what I wanted to say is I know I'm blessed by God because out of all the places I could move, I moved next door to this guy, Carl, who turns out to be like a guy that my sister grew up with. And I've known, like, has known, like, it was crazy. It was like, you know what I mean? The guy's like, not exactly like me, but like on the same page. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm a very social, entertaining guy, right? Like, I throw parties and stuff like that. And his parties are bigger than mine. So when I was coming to this neighborhood, I was kind of like, oh God, what are the neighbors going to think when I start having people over? You know what I mean? And some of the neighbors are pretty harsh. Because I remember when I first moved here, we moved from a condo. And so we didn't have a rake. And it was in the fall. And I remember the neighbor knocking on my door and basically saying, here's a rake. Go rake your lawn.
Yeah.
Because I was like, what's this for? You know? And he was just kind of like, I don't know. I thought you could use it. It's like in my head, I was like, for what? You know? And then I look at the front lawn and it's like everybody's lawn's cleared and mine is just full of leaves.
Which is fine. is
Yeah.
that like having leaves in our yard is actually how it's supposed to be.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's supposed to be. It's good, like as mulch and fertilizer. The leaves are supposed to decompose. That's what I tell them, right? But you know.
I know.
Take all they leaves and put them in a container. Then when to turn them out, you can sell it back to them.
There you go. Well, I do mulch all my leaves because I have one of those like leaf blowers or whatever. So I blow it all into a pile and then I get it sucked up. But actually, lately, last year and the year before, I didn't even touch my lawn. My cousin's kids started a landscaping business. They're like 15 years old. So yeah, I just pay them to come over and um, do our front lot, like do our lawn and everything. And it's cheap. It's like $20 a week or something like that. Or maybe it's $40 a month. I can't remember. But you know, support the family. You know what I mean? What?
I said when you make that much money, you forget about bills.
Yeah. You know what? I don't make that much money on Seamoss, but I do make a lot of money on real estate. Yeah.
Just selling or renting.
Selling. So we actually closed a lot of deals in the last 2 months. We sold approximately $4.8 million worth of real estate between December and thing. Or we bought or sold, right? Because we had some clients that bought. And so that's a lot of transactions in a 2-month period. So hopefully we can keep this going for the rest of the year. And, you know, but I like selling real estate. I love it. It's fun because you get really connected with the people that you're working with, and you're kind of helping guide them to a situation that's going to drastically change their lives, right? Like just recently, we sold um, 2 properties for this family, which was basically a son and his wife, right? Or a man and his wife, and then his father, who lived on his own. His wife passed away like 2 years ago, and they decided that they're going to sell their properties and then buy one big property and live in it together. And so it was like to watch them on this journey and go from, this situation to where they're now living in this beautiful home. They picked out like the perfect home. These guys were blessed too, just how the transaction went and everything. And, you know, and in the end, they thought that they had a condo and a house, and they thought they could sell the house for about 600, 650. And they thought that if they could get maybe 950 to $1 million on the house, then they would be that was sort of like their target numbers. That was the number that they're happy with. We ended up selling the house the condo for $715,000. Right. So we listed it at $499 and it went for $715. And then we listed the house for $799 and it sold for $1.175. So imagine making an extra $100,000 on the price that you thought you were going to make on your house. Twice. So they made and I mean, and the father, the house that they had, he owned it free and clear. So he went from living on his own and everything to now he's got $1.175 million in his pocket. Yeah. Now tell me their lives aren't changed. They were shocked. They were like they couldn't believe that they sold the house for that much, and they got that much money. Like the father, because in the beginning the father was, and this is another thing I love, is changing people's perception of me. So in the beginning, the father was very anti-agent, like I don't trust agents, and they're this, they're scam. You know what I mean? And by the end of the transaction, we're like, this guy we could go for beers. You know what I mean? Totally trust me to the point where he's like, well, what do you think, Julian? What should we do? And I'm just like at one point when he did that, I looked at the sun and I'm just like, is he serious? He's asking my opinion? Like before the beginning, he wouldn't trust my opinion. You know what I mean? Because he thought we were all just going to hustle them and, you know what I mean? Just complete the transaction and they weren't, just kind of close the deal and they were going to get ripped somehow, because they hear these horror stories. And so, now he's going to look back at the experience and be like, no, I enjoyed my real estate agent. Agents are good, So I'm like a little like agent superhero. That's what I tell myself at night. You're the best. You're the superhero. Mm-hmm. So, hey, Maria, are you going to schedule a coaching call with me? Did you know I started offering scheduled mentorship calls?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I was debating, and then I felt kind of busy, but still debating.
Well, do it whenever. I mean, it's an open schedule. You know what I mean? And it's been going good with a lot of people. Now, that being said, there's a lot of people that were booking the appointments and not showing up to calls, and that was a little bit frustrating because I was like, it was good in some ways because then I wasn't tied down to that, committed to that time anymore. I could do something else. But I was kind of like, I take my time to offer this thing to you. You know what I mean? You can't, why'd you even make the appointment if you weren't going to show up? Or even acknowledge that you can't make it or whatever,
Right.
Yeah. So.
Are they mostly from America or international?
You know what? I don't know because some of the times I don't see exactly where they're calling from, but I have talked to a few like actual sellers, like one from Grenada and another one from Jamaica. And so I basically shared with them like who I ship with, how I shipped, you know, um, you know, ideas on shipping smaller amounts. Because that's one of their challenges is that they can't ship like it's expensive to ship anything under 100 pounds. Yeah. And so yeah, you sound like you're kind of knocking out.
I was just saying you're home nice.
So I'm looking at big booty chicks.
I'm about to let you next time you gonna be on.
Wednesday.
Okay.
Yeah, Wednesday around the same time.
All right. Good night, Viva.
All right, good night. So this is strange. Some people are getting the comments and some aren't. Like I'm seeing some of the comments and I'm not seeing all of them because I just hang on, mute that. Because I see Alicia so fine said I had my coaching call and it was amazing. Hi Winter. Good to see you. I don't know when you guys made these comments. I missed them. They didn't show. Because now I'm gonna.
I'm only seeing reels.
Yeah, that's and off YouTube. So I see the ones from YouTube and some of the ones from Facebook. But
So you have to manually put them together.
put what together?
I mean, for all the comments you show.
No, it's supposed to all like I think there might be a glitch in the software or something. It's supposed to all show up. Like that's the whole thing is you you have this one piece of software that basically acts as the restreamer for the other channels, so that I can put it on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube all at the same time. And normally I could see from all the rooms when someone's commenting, but it looks like, I'm not seeing it from all the rooms this time. Because I'm trying to also find the comment where Rio, well, there, you know what? Now that's why I can't find it, because he's on YouTube.
Yeah. Where do I sign up, right?
Yeah, where he's asking, because I'm going to post a link to sign up for the call. And yeah, I'm really enjoying the calls and talking with people and seeing where their challenges are. So I just gotta find, there it is, live, and then I'll put it right here. Boom, bam. There. Let me know if you don't see the Rio, if you don't see the link that I posted in the chat there. The link in the chat. Boom, bam. But yeah, I like I was talking about the discussions, and it was good. It was like, interesting to help these people create new ideas. And oh, it's not there for some reason. I need to fire Restream. You know what it is too? I'm not using my regular computer, and so I think that might have an issue with it. I guess like part of the problem is that this version of Chrome that I'm using is probably outdated or something. I think that might have an issue with it. I guess like part of the problem. So, got that, and then paste. Oh shit! Went on the wrong. I need to do it from my phone. No, I'll send it in the link, because you know what? Other people will. Oh, I see what I'm gonna do. That's fine. Calendly. I think I can log into the Calendly app and then copy and paste it from there. This Calendly app though is really cool. Have you ever tried using it?
That's what you wanted to ask. Is that the only one that you've worked with though?
It's the only one I've tried so far.
Okay.
It works great. I mean, it just does the simple thing of setting up a schedule. You know what I mean?
It's not so complicated,
No, it's not. It's not complicated at all. And I mean, there's a free version that's pretty simple to use. I mean, you only get one option, but like for the free version, you can only schedule like a 1 hour time, 30-minute time, or whatever. Whereas if you pay a few bucks, you can schedule like different types of packages that the person can sign up to. You can even charge for the packages, so that when you say you're offering a coaching call, you can charge like $30 for the call, and then the person pays up front for it. And yeah, and I've been thinking about, I mean, I've talked about it for a while, but I've been wanting to do some kind of either paid coaching service or some kind of like club that you join as a membership and you pay to get extra information, but all the money that is collected is used to fund some sort of like charity initiative in St. Lucia.
Okay.
Yeah, because I want to create more. Sorry, go ahead.
So they would get pretty much like unlimited mentoring from you.
Yeah, I mean, I never really sat down and figured out exactly how it would work. But say it's something like you either paid like $50 a month and you get to call me whenever you need to, or you paid like say $40 for to sit down with me for an hour to talk, you know, and that. But I don't know. I've bounced so many ideas. I'm even thinking about something where it's like you pay this fee and it's almost like a VIP club for us, and you pay a monthly fee or whatever, and that goes to the project, but then in return you get like 1 hour call a month with me, discount on the Seamoss that you're purchasing. I don't know, some kind of incentive to show, like, to incentivize you to join that monthly fee, but the money generated would be used to, like, do like meal kit programs, or to buy, like, say, a bunch of goggles for everybody on the beach, that kind of stuff. See if there's a way to get cheap wetsuits, that kind of shit. Mm-hmm.
I know they invest in that.
Pardon?
Sorry for the noise.
That's a.
I know they would invest in that, and like people legit do not want to do the whole like trial and error thing in the beginning. So if people know that they can avoid that.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. You know what it is too? I was talking to someone today about it, because I've been talking to a few people, even in my church, about them wanting to start other businesses. And like doing your own business is hard, especially when you're in it on your own and you don't have like a partner or someone else to rely on. And sometimes you just need someone to tell you it's okay to go down that path. There is going to be a light at the tunnel, and no, you're not going to kill yourself if you go that. You know what I mean? Like, everybody's afraid to make a decision because they don't know what the result's going to be.
Yeah, and like their mind has already been like rethink through like different. Oh, like, should I do this? Should I not? Should I do this? Or should I not? Type of thing.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, and that's the thing. You don't know what you should do. No one knows what you should do or what they should do. You just try it, and then you see if it works. And if it doesn't, you have a plan to get out of it if it doesn't work. Like, you shouldn't be going into doing something without having an exit strategy. Like, this is what I'm going to do if I can't, work this out, or that, this isn't going to happen, blah, 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 So, and then as long as you don't do anything that is catastrophically going to destroy your business, it's okay to make a few mistakes. They're just like temporary setbacks. You know what I mean? You will recover from them. And if you get into the habit of taking risks and recovering from those risks, you're better off than someone who doesn't take any risks, and therefore doesn't know how to recover from a risk, so that when something does bad happen to them, it usually wipes them out. Like, by you not taking risks and learning how to fix those mistakes, you're actually leaving yourself vulnerable. Yeah. And no experience. You know what I mean? And no idea of what to do when something goes wrong. Yeah. So, like, my advice as a business is, don't be afraid to make mistakes. Don't be afraid to try things, because the way this market is nowadays, it's all about testing. You know what I mean? It's testing and adjusting. You got to test something, and then as you test it, you adjust it, and then as you adjust it, then you're not going to just sell to people and them just buy because they see it. And that's something that I think a concept that a lot of people in this business aren't really grasping, is that there's too many people out there pushing the sale that it's hard for you to even, and it's almost like, why should we pick you? Who are you? You know what I mean? And so that's why you need to create a marketing strategy where you pull people in that might be interested in Seamoss, and then you tell them who you are, and then you show them something, a reason why they need to buy from you. That should be the thought in your marketing plan as you're putting things out. It's like, who's people interested? Okay, these are the people interested. Now, this is who I am, and this is why I think you should buy from me. Or here's a reason why you should buy from me, which is usually saving money, you know? Rio Two Tone says, are you able to tell someone that they're not cut out for something? Yes and no, right? It's hard for me to tell someone else that they're not cut out for something, because at the end of the day, I'm not that person, and I don't know what their skills and abilities are.
Yeah. And they're not going to tell you every single thing.
Yeah, and not only that, but this is the thing. You can change. People change. Do you know what I mean? And today you may be a fuck up, but you know, the next day you might wake up and say, I'm not going to be a fuck up no more. Do you know what I mean? And so if I knew you pre-fuck up, right, and you made that change, anything I say to you doesn't apply, because you're not that same person. And in fact, we're always changing every day. You know, if you're seeking a way to grow and improve yourself, you're not the same person the next time someone sees you. You know what I mean? So who am I to say that you're not cut out for this? Now, what I do tell people is that I think you lack the desire to make this happen. I don't think you want this badly enough. You know what I mean? And that then they have to sit there and question, do I really want this badly enough? Am I willing to make the sacrifices that are required to be successful? Because if you look at all successful people, you can't get success without sacrifice. You know what I mean? So you got to ask yourself, what are you really sacrificing? I know what I'm sacrificing in this Seamoss business. You know what I mean? I'm sacrificing my time. You know, look at it. I'm 12 o'clock at night. You know what I mean? I could be at home. I could be in bed, sleeping, cuddling up with my wife. You know what I mean? I'm here doing this YouTube or this video because it's the sacrifice that I put out to serve the community in hopes that, you know what I mean, I get a blessings in return. And it might not come from you guys. It might not come from, in fact, I don't even look for it from the people that I'm serving. That's another mistake I find people make. They expect a return on something that they give from directly from that person. And it doesn't work that way. God will bless you in a completely different direction that you won't even see coming. But you have to help that person to get it. Do you know what I mean? Like, you have to sacrifice and serve and help others, and that's when your blessings come back. But they come from a different direction, you know? So that's, I guess, Rio, to tell your question, I wouldn't tell someone that they're not cut out for something. I would just ask them how badly they really want it. You know, and what's their why, you know? Yes, Rio, spiritual currency, for real. That's where karma comes from, you know? What goes around comes around. You put bad stuff out there, bad stuff comes back. Put good stuff comes back, you know? Yeah. Do you ever go to church, Maria?
No.
Yeah. No.
Not anymore.
Yeah, Filipinos are big on the Catholic religion. I've noticed.
Yeah.
And a lot of Caribbeans too, you know.
Really? I didn't know
Yeah. No, there's a lot of Roman Catholic churches in the Caribbean, and a lot of them own like huge parts of land of even in St. Lucia, a lot of churches own land in there that they sell to people to make money. Like they're all really rich organizations. You know, but, yeah. But I like going to church. I've been doing it like pretty religiously since for the last 7 years, 6, 7 years. Yeah, so I've been going to church every Sunday for like the last 7 years. Like, really, I think I've maybe missed church 10 times. Mm-hmm. Like it's rare. Like the only time I really miss it is during Christmas holidays, and maybe once or twice in the year, like a family function, or I have to go out of town for something. You know what I mean? But other than that, yeah, I'm there every Sunday. My dog's having a dream right now. It's funny when he dreams.
What did he do?
He basically you see him like running in his sleep. His legs start moving and that's what I'm like. I'm sitting here talking to you, and I'm looking. I hear the noise. Like, what the fuck is that? And then it's like, oh, it's just the dog. He's having a dream, or his face moves a lot, like because he's like doing that thing, and so you see him. It's cute though to see his like body twitching and stuff. But it's and that makes me like ask that question about like sleeping and dreaming and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like I wonder what's going through his head right now. Like is he running through a forest and just you know what I mean? That'd be crazy. Have you ever heard of rhythmic breathing or what are they called? Breath work.
Yes, I really want to get into it.
Let me know when you're ready. I'll put you in touch with my friend. She's really good. I've done like 2 sessions already, and I'm already thinking about when I'm hoping she's going to do another one first soon. But I might even pay for it because the last couple times I got a complimentary. But what you call it? Yeah, I'm going to see if I can get an extra one. But I wouldn't say I got a complimentary. I'm kind of like her sponsor. Like I sponsor her podcast show, and so I guess she's just like, I want you to try it and tell me what you think. So I was more, what?
Is it that Instagram page where it's kind of all like, I don't want to say health, like, but kind of like mental health as well. More of like the inner work type of page.
Yeah, her name is Rita Savoya, and she does Savoya Cares. That's her on Instagram, and she does a lot of office place mental health. So tips on how to like deal with situations in the office and stuff, and then also not menstrual. What's premenopausal care? So there's like a stage in the woman's journey where she goes just before she goes into menopause. There's like a premenopause state, and so it's preparing for that initial state and understanding the changes in the body. She guides people on that, which I feel is important, because it's pretty traumatic for women to go through that sort of phase in their life, you know. Yeah, I've talked to a lot of my friends, close friends that are females, and they've said like it's scary because like 1 minute you're getting these hot flashes and these cold flashes, and you don't know what's going on. And so the girl Rita told me is that by having proper diet and sort of like understanding, you can help mitigate a lot of the stress that comes with that sort of journey. And then as you're prepared during the pre-stage, when you actually get into menopause, it's, you know what I mean, you've got more tools in your tool chest to help you out with that. Mm-hmm. But the breath work I did was like phenomenal, and it was really like, it was like very stress relieving, and I felt like my body went through like a detox through the breath, because I felt really sick afterwards, and then I like was like having nonstop bowel movements for like 2 days. Like I thought I was, yeah, it was like everything came out, everything, and I felt even like lighter in my mind, but lighter in my body, like lighter in everything. Yeah, and so, and even when I was doing the practice, there was situations that, or things that I was working on that I was having like mental blocks with that I wasn't completing, and that was one of my intentions, was to remove those blockages so that I can, finish the work. And right away, I like sat down and just hammered out a bunch of ideas and plans and stuff that I was working on, and it was just like boom, boom, boom. You know what I mean? Whereas I was like, oh, what should I do? I don't know what to do. The ideas just came out. It was like, oh, okay, this is what you're gonna do. Boom, boom, boom. So I definitely recommend anybody to, check it out, and maybe even, I don't know, I'll put a group together, see how many people are interested, and do some kind of Zoom event with her. And, yeah.
It's nice to do it together.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And see, I don't know if you were there when we were talking about the association, but that's kind of like some of the things that I want to put together, in this association, is even having like if there was enough members and they were paying enough fees, we could afford to hire someone to come and give, like a doctor or some specialist on something, to come get a talk. I could pay, herbalists to come in and give teachings on different herbs and stuff like that, and stuff, people that know their stuff, not someone that just, has an opinion about what this stuff does or whatever, like, I'm, I don't know if you've heard of, what is it? A Phoenix Rising Institute. Like, they're in the West End, but they do like a lot of herb healing and stuff like that. And I could get her to come on and talk about like a lot of like detoxifying techniques and stuff that she does, because that's what a lot of the things she does at her studio there. Like, I went to her to do, the foot detox. You know, when you put your foot in the salt water.
And then it comes out like brown.
Yeah.
Like water is like brown.
Yeah. Exactly. And so she does that, and she also does, cupping. Have you heard of cupping?
Did you try that?
No, I want to go to her and try it, and I'm trying to work something out where I do it like a live stream, where you guys get to see me do, go through the whole process. And that's kind of like some of the things that I'd like to do, is create these things where, there's like an education component to the membership, where you're learning stuff. Because see, I've told you before, I'm a beekeeper, right?
Yeah.
So I'm a member of two of the biggest beekeeping organizations in Toronto. One's called the Urban Toronto Beekeepers Association, and the other one's called the Toronto Beekeepers Collective. And at the Toronto Beekeepers Collective, I'm actually on the board. Like, I'm a director of the board. And so I get to see how the organization is sort of built and run, and what they plan, and all the ideas that they do for the members and stuff. And it's pretty cool, like how they, and I could see how a lot of the things that they're doing in the bee organization could be the same way done for Seamoss. And that's like bringing people in to give talks. I could bring farmers on and even have like a direct live stream with a farmer where you guys could ask questions. You know what I mean? And we could probably do it in other countries too. That's the one thing for sure. If I do this association, while I am biased towards St. Lucia, I don't want it to be something where only St. Lucians have an advantage or only St. Lucians benefit from it. It's got to be something that all countries can come in. You know what I mean? And it would be, it would be possible for the underdog or the newcomer to the industry to come in and get established, as long as they have certain things in place. And if they don't have those things in place, we would help them get those stuff. You know what I mean? The idea is not to block people from selling, but more create a standard for them to operate in so that everybody, benefits, including the seller. Because what they learn selling to this group, they can then apply to their whole business. You know what I mean? So.
I really like that idea of being a real professional or like doing some of that like breathwork as well.
Well, you know what? Maybe what I'll see is what Rita's doing for next Wednesday, and I'll bring her in to come and talk about breathwork and stuff, and then I'll plan something with the other girl, Dr. Tessa. I think her name's Tesla, Dr. Tisa, and get her. She's from the Phoenix Rising Institute. Get her to come in, and just even if it's for the first hour, you know what I mean? And because I don't know if they'll do 12:30 a.m.
Yeah. Hey, why don't you go on IG Live too?
You know what? I would, but I need to get I need to get another app. And that's the thing. I asked my daughter for the iPad back, but she hasn't given it to me. And because I'm doing the Clubhouse on the phone, so I can't have Clubhouse and IG on the same device.
Right.
Yeah, so I'll have to get. But it's funny you bring that up because I miss doing the Instagram, and there was a lot of people that watched it. I'm sure they're kind of like, "What happened to Julian?" You know. I dissed her. I dissed IG for. I dropped IG for Facebook, and so. I know, eh? Like, what was I thinking? But there's a lot of people. I'm joking. There's a lot of people on Facebook. Look, we built the group up to 7,000. I'm shocked. Like 7,700.
2 years? Wow.
Oh, that thing hasn't been for 2 years. That grew in a year. Yeah, because I started it last December. Yeah, so it's been about a year, and it's probably grown the most in the last few months, where it's kind of like every week it's 100 people or couple hundred people that have been joined. But I also think there's a lot of bots, and so I've been thinking about changing the membership sign up and having it so that you have to answer a few questions about just to verify that you're a human being. It seems like I'm blocking like at least 15 bots a day, if not more. And so that's too much time. Another idea I thought about is maybe instituting some kind of post approval for the first, like, say you're a new member for the first couple of posts, then you have to, you're under certain restrictions, and then you can post freely after a certain time. Yeah, or even just controlling all the posts, because sometimes people post some fucked up shit. Like I delete, not a lot, but I've deleted a few posts where I'm just like, this has nothing to do with Seamoss. Like nothing. Yeah. Like I'll let some things slide if it's kind of within the range of health. But if you're going and posting and advertising some party on the weekend, that's delete.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. And they do that, or they'll post just random weird stuff.
Yeah, public. Because I know you can get like the post to be like pending, so whatever like that. Why don't you get another mod to like help you out?
Yeah, I've been thinking about that. There's a guy in Moss King. He's been really kind of not pushing me, but recommending that we get some changes, and I agree with him, right, fully. It's just my problem is, okay, how do I implement it? And so, like you said, he brought up just have a couple mods and stuff like that. And but in some ways, maybe I'm just biased because it's my group, but I don't see anything wrong with the group. You know?
Yeah, I totally feel you. Like, I feel like, yeah, like what you just said now, like there's nothing wrong with it, but then like maybe like touch it up a bit because it really is growing, and like I can totally see it like really like growing even much more.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually, you might have to like do all that anyway.
Yeah, I don't know. I have to think about it. I have to get on it though, because actually I don't really. Because at the end of the day, if someone were to come and do it, and if they were to do it exactly how I would probably do it, then I would just get behind them and support them. You know what I mean?
Oh, Rio brought up a good what about like the Discord? Discord is really great.
Yeah, I know nothing about Discord. So what would you use Discord for?
So okay.
Move the group to Discord?
Sorry?
You would move the group to Discord? Is that what are you suggesting?
So Discord is more of like I would put it like a chat, let's say.
Mm-hmm.
And you can post anything you want. You know, we can talk to each other anytime. I believe it's invite only, so someone does have to give you something to Discord. But a lot of people are on Discord. A lot of people that are in the video game, a lot of people that are so like people from Clubhouse are doing the whole Discord thing.
Mm-hmm.
Very interactive, and I'm sure that like people would want to interact with like-minded people. I think that would be really great.
Okay, I'm gonna look into that. I've used Discord before, but I've never ran a Discord. Like, I guess they call it a Discord server or whatever. And so that's where I'm like kind of like a newbie. You know what I mean? Because I've gone on the site, listened to them. I know it's kind of like a chat room. You can also do like video streaming from it and a few other things.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, but yeah, I'd have to learn more about what its full capabilities are and stuff like that. And I'll probably do that, and maybe I will, because I think there isn't even like a room, how do you say it? Not a room, but there's a subset of group of people that are very serious about Seamoss and about pushing their Seamoss game, and it might be a, like something where this is sort of like, the CMOS VIPs. I don't want to say VIPs, but like this for the CMOS diehards, you know what I mean? That are really serious about, learning their game and upping it and are open to hear other ideas and people's opinions and stuff like that, you know?
Right. Very open and very going up like a post all the time as well.
Yeah. Exactly.
Oh my gosh.
What? Sorry? What about lemon balls?
That wasn't me, I promise. If they're real.
Oh, in the chat, I don't see it. You know what? I'm on a totally different page as we talk. And so I was searching domain names because I had an idea in my mind, and lemon balls. Because did you see the video earlier where they were making jokes about my balls on the video?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So that's what I think he's talking about.
Right.
Yes. The lemon la ha 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 ha. Crazy. I miss that crew, like the in St. Lucia, hanging out with these guys on the block. You know. Mhm. And they don't know it. They don't realize, like, you know.
Yeah, because it's so normal to them.
Yeah. And I think in some ways they're taught this that they're in a bad position, but it's kind of like, okay, everybody's in a bad position. You can change this.
That's why I don't like seeing the term third world country.
I know, and really, like this, like people say that, like, oh, it's a third world country, but it's really not. Like they got high speed, they got fucking cable TV, they got what I mean, a lot of stuff. You know what I mean? Maybe they don't have all the conveniences that we have, but some of the stuff, you know what I mean? Trust me, when you have it, you know what I mean? You're gonna wish you came back to the old stuff. You know what I mean? Like, sure, I live in a nice house and shit, but I'd be happy in a fucking shed.
Yeah, me as well. Like, if I can just, like, pick a fruit, like, get away from me, great, yeah, or whatever. Oh my god, that's life right there.
Yeah. Have you ever thought about going back home to your country, the Philippines?
Not in Asia, no. I honestly would love to be in, like, the Caribbean island. I would love to be, but it's just that, like, I don't know anybody. Like, someone that lived there or, like, grew up there and has been back home before, I would want to, like, go with them. Yeah.
Yeah. Any particular island? Would it be like Jamaica or Grenada or?
I do want Jamaica, but then I'm like, you know what?
Yeah, you gotta come to St. Lucia. You'd love it down there. You know, find yourself a nice, strong jungle man. And there you go. I'll introduce you to a couple guys. Yeah. They're nice. They'll treat you right.
Yeah, I mean, like no, I'm not gonna just like Jamaica like that. So even though I haven't been there, but everybody wants to go to Jamaica, right? Like I don't hear a lot of people say that they want to go to like Grenada or St. Lucia, but I've always wanted to go to St. Lucia.
Yeah, you'd love St. Lucia. It's beautiful, and it's a little bit different than the other islands, I think. I haven't been to too many islands, but I don't know. There's something about St. Lucia. It's very sort of pure. Yeah, very unspoiled. Like there's not a lot of infrastructure. There's not a lot of big buildings. There's not a lot. You know what I mean? Like some of these other countries you go to, it's like their cities are like metropolises, where it's not like that so much there. You know, and they do have a real simple life. There's only like 90,000 people on the whole island. That's crazy, eh? 90. So there's more people in the beaches area than there is on that whole island.
Oh wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, I think it's 90,000. Let me double check before I fucking someone corrects me and goes, "You're wrong, Julian. You don't know what you're talking about." English population. There it is. English population 2021. So I'm wrong. It's 184,400 people. That's like the size of Cambridge or something like that. It's not really that big at all. Yeah, Rio, just for you, I am gonna go on Discord and use the name Lemon Balls. That's my username. Oh shit. But yeah, figure out Discord. It might be good to have something like that. Get it off Facebook, and I think that having it on Discord is probably going to eliminate the bots. You know what I mean? Like all these guys that are putting up all those herpy posts and comments. They drive me crazy.
Oh, yes, but I'm thinking right now, from what I remember, like, I don't think
No, it'd be hard for them to join because you have to be almost invited, right? Like you said, that's one of the things. It's an invite only. But I have used Discord for mainly for crypto. Yeah, crypto, and I think there's some other group that I just joined. I think it's maybe one of the B groups I have. They started a Discord channel, but no one really uses it and stuff.
Yeah, Canadian.
That's it. Mm-hmm. What do you think? Speaking of Canadians, what do you think about the trucker situation?
I love the spirit of like how everyone is like actually together,
Mm-hmm.
right? And like I always think of everything like very positively, right?
Mm.
But I think with this one, there's really like let's use this to maybe like bring upon one another's lives.
What? Sorry, I don't know.
I don't know. I don't really want to get into that, but I mean, like, I love, like, I've seen so many lives, and like, there's just so much, like, it's 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 a good time to be alive. It's all like.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I honestly question the whole like, you know what I mean, operation. Like, who started this? What made them decide to all sell? Like, I'm always questioning when there's these movements because a lot of times these movements is started by someone that if you knew who started the movement, you'd be like, I'm not supporting this movement. You know what I mean?
It's like BLM.
Yeah.
BLM, your people did not start that.
Mm-hmm.
It was them that freaking started it, as always, right?
And haven't you noticed that BLM, like lately in the last year or so, it's like after George Floyd, they've kind of like disappeared.
Exactly, right, and that goes to show. And you know what's funny as well? I feel like because they see that you guys are rising, right? They're seeing that you guys are finally realizing like your guys' true history, your guys' like true power, right?
Mm-hmm.
Every time I feel like they're also doing all of that as well. They're putting like in these commercials like more like melanated people in like TV shows and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. Just so that you guys can be like on their quote unquote good side, if that really makes sense.
Yeah, the ass kicking. It's the same way with the gays. You know what I mean? Where it's like you see all like gay pride comes out and every company is all of a sudden pro gay. You know what I mean? They change their logo to the rainbow colors and so. And I mean, I have nothing wrong with gays and all that stuff. Like that's not my point. My point is just like it's like, huh? Yeah, it's like when the Raptors won the championship. Everybody was a Raptor fan suddenly. You know what I mean? Like you could not say anything negative about anything Raptors. People would flip out. You know what I mean? And that's kind of like I see some of these companies where it's just like, are you doing this because you really stand for this? Because you never mentioned this before until now. The only time we hear you talking about gays' rights is when gay pride season's coming up. That's disgusting. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if you are really for this stuff, you'd be doing this all the time, not when it's in season. You know what I mean? And so that's what I'm saying. I'm always questioning these kind of movements and like because it's not easy to get all these fucking people together and organize and sort of like everything works. Like, these shit doesn't just fall into place magically. Like, certain people are getting paid to do certain work to make this happen.
No, like I'm so glad that like we're speaking about this because a lot of people that are aware of what's going on, like they're just so yeah, like you're not a real freedom fighter because you're not validating. Yeah, like you're not for Canada because you can't even drive all the way to Ottawa type of thing. They have that type of mentality, right? So that when it comes to these type of events, they're really like taking it. You know, they're kind of like blinded. You know, so, like it's the emotion. They use their emotion.
Divide and concert. They did it in the beginning when the pandemic first started. Everybody was against each other. It was like fucking feuds all over Facebook. You know what I mean? I had a lot of fun. I was trolling people like crazy. And, you know, just like making, see, people like look at me when I say trolling, it's like, oh, you know, that's a negative thing. But really what I'm doing is like, I'm trying to push people's thoughts and open up their mind because there's just so many people that are very like, you know, they're spoon fed what they're told.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like you'll see it in the comments when they're talking on Facebook and stuff. They'll put their stand up, and the stance that they take is almost like word for word what it was said on the news. Like it was like, you know, I was like, you should work for TV. You know, you just said it perfectly like they say it.
Right. Yeah, that's like so spot on.
Yeah.
And you know what's crazy? What's happening right now? You're really like open-minded to all of this. So, you know how that whole thing that happened in the beginning of January, that was in the White House. Was it the White House?
Yeah, but I don't think it was in January. It was like, or maybe January last year.
Oh, yes, sorry, last year.
Yeah, because they stormed the Capitol a long time ago. This was back when Trump was in the trying to be elected and stuff. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So now we kind of like it's already happened, right? But I think that the day or two before they were saying they were like going to see and look out because that could actually happen, right? And then I actually seen a live video earlier of how like you know the flags that they look like Antifa, they always carry this flag. All of them, but they have this like it's like red and it has like red and stuff. And there was like a few people that were at in Ottawa as that going on. So it's kind of like I don't know. I suppose that some Canadians do think that we need violence, but I don't think that's gonna make it any better right now.
Not at all.
And stuff, you know, like they're raised up and they're all like pissed, right? So it's like it takes one person to just mess up the whole thing. So it's like we gotta be careful right now.
Totally. I agree. Really fuck up quick. Just looking at all my stats. Fuck, I got a lot of orders to do. I'm like so behind. So behind. But I think tomorrow I'm gonna get up at the warehouse. I'm gonna go there early at like 9 o'clock or earlier, and then I'm going to work nonstop all day long and pump it out. Yeah, pump out all my orders and get them done. Just sucks because I'm waiting on a new shipment of Seamoss, and so I know that there's some really good purple in that Seamoss and stuff like that, like in that order.
Is it only purple?
No, I'm getting purple, gold, some full spectrum, and green. But we've been buying up a lot of purple because purple is going to start running. The price of purple is going up for sure. Yeah, because a lot of the bigger suppliers have already started going around and purchasing all the available purple. And as we go into the drier season, which we're entering now, the um, the um, the purple is less. It's less available. It's harder to make the purple, basically, and so you'll see that there'll be like a shortage, or like the price is going up on it.
Okay. Yeah, you were saying that there's going to be like batches from now are going to be like.
Pardon?
Like you're going to get like better batches.
So my next shipment is going to have a lot of good purple, but I don't know when we'll be getting purple after that. So, like, one of the things my partner said to me is, don't put this on sale ever. He's like, if anything, you should be charging double for this. Yeah, he's like, that's how good the purple is. I was like, really? He's like, yeah, do not put this on sale. Plus, because we paid a lot for it too, I think. That's one of the things that he's saying. Because that's, I was talking to someone about that because they're trying to ask me, oh, what's your cost per pound, or what's your bottom line? And it's like, I don't know. It's hard to say because every day we're buying new Seamoss, and for the most part, we're not setting the prices. Yeah. I think the only sort of rule that we have, and I don't even think we really apply too much, is our rule is we'll buy from the cheapest people first. So we don't tell you your price. Sometimes I think we'll say, well, for this quality, we're only willing to pay this much, right? But for the most part, it's like if your Seamoss is good and it's you know what I mean, you set a price, we pay that price, unless we can find the same quality cheaper, and then we'll buy all that first, and then come back to you, buy your price at your price. Yeah. Which I think is fair. You know what I mean? That's what I tell them. It's like, look, this guy's we're running a business. You know what I mean? We can't pay more for your Seamoss and someone else is willing to sell it to us for cheaper. But at the same time, we're not going to dictate to you what your prices are. So it is what it is.
I noticed the one that I bought for when we were doing the business deal.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's like a different species or it looks a little bit different. It had more like I believe like branches.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was probably more Garcilaria. What I'm finding is that in the sea, and it might even be the same species, but just grown in a different area, or it's because of a different time of the year that it was harvested. Yeah, because what I find is that the Garcilaria and the Euchinema is very, very closely related. Like they look almost identical.
That's why like I get so confused whenever I look at yours. I'm like, this kind of looks like Garcilaria.
Yeah. Sometimes you'll look like Garcilaria because you have the long strands and everything, and then you'll look at another piece and it's like this big kind of bush and stuff. And so, yeah, it's not all. It's a natural product, right? I would be scared if each. Yeah. Pardon? No, I would be concerned if it did. If every single piece looked exactly like the other piece, then that is fake. Do you know what I mean? Because it wasn't grown naturally. It was almost cloned or whatever. But yeah. So, are you planning to do any advertising soon?
Yeah, I was thinking about that. I like to do it. I usually like to do it in January, or like try to do it in January. Maybe March. I think I'm gonna do it in March. With I might just do it. I'm not too sure what I'm gonna do. Well, I haven't done one for a long while. I do enjoy it. But I think I'm gonna go with that.
Yeah, it's interesting that you said that about gonna see how did that person get 600. Sorry, I'm logging into my Google account and I see this thing where they're like, we'll give you $600 in free ad credit when you spend $600. Click start now to redeem that. Like, I just spent that much money. Sucks.
What are you on Shopify? Like, where are you seeing that?
No, I'm seeing that on the ads Google.com, like on their Google AdWords thing.
That's pretty crazy. I don't think they've ever done one like that. Or I don't know if they do that towards certain customers.
Yeah, I think I think because I already opened an account, I'm gonna call them tomorrow and say, look, I'm spending a lot of money and I need some help. I want you to give me this deal because I didn't get a chance to take advantage of it sooner. Yeah, it's not right. But getting back to what I was saying, I haven't been doing any Facebook ads, but I have been doing the Google AdWords, and I've been noticing good results from it, and it's been pretty affordable. I'm just pulling it in up now just to see what my cost per engagement is. All right, and so today's the 31st. What was yesterday? Oh. So yesterday my conversion was actually pretty expensive. $3.42 was the cost per conversion.
Oh yeah, because it's per click, right?
Well, it depends. It is per click and per so many impressions, right? But when I look at it, and see, this is what a lot of people need to understand when it comes to like advertising in general. A lot of the activities that you do today don't get recognized till days later. And sometimes, if you look, pardon?
Right, yeah.
Yeah, and if you look at something on a single day, it might not give you accurate numbers. So you almost have to take several days and then average them out. And so when I average it out to the last 30 days, my thing was I got 1,048 clicks. That resulted in 907 conversions at a cost at $1.57 per conversion, and I spent 1,420. So that's how much I spent on ads this month on Google. But my sales were, sometimes over $1,000 a day. And so I averaged it out that if I made $1,000 in that day, I could afford to spend $100 on advertising. Because here's the thing too. A lot of these people that, I showed it to, let's see how many, I think I can show the impressions. I think I have to go in more details. Yeah, impressions. So on one ad, the major ad that I got a lot of these clicks, it did 27,600 impressions. So that was the amount of times over the month that my link was shown to people. Sometimes those people don't click the link, but they see the name. You know what I mean? Sometimes they click the link and they go on there, but they don't make a purchase right away, but they come back. You know what I mean? And so you almost have to be prepared to throw a lot of money at something without seeing the full results. So, for example, you've seen how I spent that much money on advertising, I might not fully see the return on that advertising for another 3 months. Because the people take time from when they first saw my site in January, they might not be ready to buy till March or even February. So you have to, so you have to keep pushing that advertising because it's almost like pushing a rock. It's slow to get it going, but once you get the rock going, it's like you could eventually push it with one hand. And so the idea is that over time, I may have to pay less for advertising or advertise less once I get that momentum going and I have that ball. Or I could get the momentum going enough where the amount of sales that are coming in, I can easily spend that much money on the advertising without worrying about how much I'm spending. Yes, Rio, with the momentum. That's exactly what I mean. Like once you get that momentum going, you just ride off it. And so with a lot of people, I think that's one of the sort of like fears that they have or challenges is that they run the ad and they're like, oh, I didn't get any sales. I'm going to stop. It's a waste of money. But like, it may not be the ad, so to speak, but the fact that you didn't run the ad long enough to make it of value over time. Running it 2-3 days is going to be expensive, but running it over 30 days might not be as expensive. You know what I mean? The cost per lead, because you're averaging it out over all that time. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
Ooh.
And I also like how you can have like 2 ads. They give you an option.
Yeah, I actually have, I think, 7 ads in one of them. Yeah, in Google AdWords, you can put, on one campaign, you could put tons of different ads. And what I think is good is to do that so that you are showing more creative, you know what I mean? And it's, you're almost casting like a wider net. Because, I'm attracted to things, like what attracts me is different than what might attract you. And so, yeah, I might read a headline and be, okay, I'm ready to go. Whereas you could read that same headline and you're like, I don't want to bother, right? And vice versa. And so it's, in the advertising game, you want to try and push as many different, at least in this day and age, different options and test it. Test what people say, and do a low, cost. Like I think my budget right now, I set it at like $100 a day, but you could do it as low as $20, and still get the thing, or even less, $5. I know with the Facebook advertising, what I've been recommending to people that they do is they start with a simple, cheap ad where they push it for, they go first build it in the ads manager, where you build a traffic ad, an ad that's just purpose is to find people and direct them to your website. And so you run those ads as cheaply as you possibly can. You go into the ads manager, into the ad campaign, and you're able to set the bid price for how much you bid on the keywords that they're showing up on, or the different ad spaces, because there's usually competition between you and someone else for that spot at that time to that particular user. And so, I hate when I lose my train of thought. I was just talking. What was I talking about? I was talking about. Help me out, Maria. Remind me for a second, because I was like, when you think about 2 or 3 things at the same time, and then you forget what you were kind of talking about. That just happened to me. I fucking hate it. And then usually, I think it's because I'm getting tired. That's what happens. I just get into a run-off thought. Oh, I think it was the ad manager. I was talking about making the ads cheaply as possible and doing the traffic. Huh?
With Facebook.
Yeah, this is with Facebook. So the strategy that I've sort of been trying out is sort of like a three phase strategy, where the first phase is identifying the audience, and that you use like random keywords or general keywords, and you put the cheapest price per ad, right? Oh, and I think that's what I was talking about was you want to send these guys to your website. The reason why you want to do the traffic and send them to your website is because you want to send as many people to your site as cheaply as possible, so that your Facebook pixel can then pick up their information and identify them as a user, and it will allow you to um, create new audiences through those people. And so the setup I kind of have roughly is that I have the cheap ad to for my cold market, and then I run a medium ad where I kind of talk about who St. Lucian Seamoss is, and I run those ads to all the people that responded to the first ad. So if you didn't respond to that first ad, you don't get that second ad. You'll never see it, right? And the reason why is because you're not interested in Seamoss. Because if you were interested in Seamoss, you would have responded to the first ad, right? Or you're not even interested in buying Seamoss off Facebook because you wouldn't respond to that first ad, which would lead you to the second part, which is where you do the business introduction, who you are and why you're in business. And then the second one or third one, I mean, you can have lots of them in between, but the final one is what you would set up as a converting ad, and you run that converting ad to all the second level audience, which is the warm audience, right? And in that ad, you run like a coupon or an incentive to get them to buy, and then you lock them in. And then this whole time, while you're sending people to the site, even from the warm audience, there are always chances that they might like something on your site and buy right away, right? And so you pick that up on them. But you can also use that data to create lookalike audiences to find new people to bring in. And so, say, you get to the end and you get that final person that converts to the purchases, you can then create an audience based on that target demographic or that lookalike audience, and then stream ads to them. The whole idea is to create define markets or define people to send the ad to, highly qualified, meaning that they know what they're ready to buy Seamoss. And so that helps eliminate your ad spend, so that you're just not throwing out random ads to just anybody who might not be interested in your Seamoss. It's like paying for like a billboard. A billboard, they have no control over who sees that billboard. They show it to everybody. Whereas you want to do something where you're almost giving that particular person an invitation, and it's like signal to signal, you know what I mean? Or it's defined to a group. Less invites needed.
Yeah. Right.
So yeah, that's my Facebook marketing strategy. Feel free to like copy or expand on it. You know what I mean? That's fine. But I also recommend everybody to watch videos on YouTube for creating audiences and retarget audiences.
Yeah, Shopify has really good content like that too, like on the blog or like what is it?
Yeah, they have a good learning program. I know. A lot of people I don't think spend enough time on Shopify and these other back-end stuff to learn all the features and all the advantages that they can have by using that platform. And so, yeah, I do recommend like you go and watch those videos and the learning programs and stuff like that. Even Klaviyo has good videos on how to utilize their product to get more business. So,
what is that again?
Klaviyo? Klaviyo is a customer relationship manager. And so it's meant to manage the communications between your clients.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. And so it helps. One of its, I guess, strongest features that I find is that it has the ability to easily create flows. And what these flows do is allow you to send a series of emails to particular target markets or different list segments that you've created.
Yeah, so that's what you've been using?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I like how you sent emails. Like that's what I'm looking for.
Yeah. So all those emails that you send, like when you make a purchase and it like thank you for making a purchase and this and that, that's all pre-programmed.
Okay. Have you taken a look at Privy yet?
Pardon?
Have you taken a look at Privy yet?
Purdy? Who?
They offer the same. They offer the same services as well. PRIVY.
Oh, Privy. Yeah, I've heard of them. I've never used them though.
But Klaviyo, it's pretty simple to set up, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I wonder if they're the same price.
Don't you have to pay for Klaviyo?
Mm-hmm. Not at first. But yeah, you do. Let me see here something. Yeah, fine. Just calculating what the cost would be using Preview. That's probably around the same. I wonder if they have the workflows that thing has. They have free shipping bar. They have a few things that Klaviyo doesn't have.
Yeah.
I'll have to spend some more time and check them out. But yeah, I am a little biased to Klaviyo, and I mean I shouldn't be because it's the only product that I've tried. So it's not like I've tried other ones to know much of a difference. I just know, like, from using Klaviyo, it pretty much has everything. Like, there's nothing on it that I would be like, oh, I wish it had this, or I wish it could do that. It fucking does more than I expected to. And so, and it's pretty easy to learn and set up. And I think I don't even use it as much as I should be using it. Like, I should be sending out promo discounts every other week, or some kind of email with information or something to keep, clients engaged, because they forget about you quick,
Right.
And if you're not there to kind of remind them that you exist, it's like they then realize that they don't have a relationship with you, and so there's no need to be loyal to you, and so they can talk to anybody they want. Right, which is fine, but as a business, you spent money to get that person. It only makes sense that you keep a relationship with them so that you can continue selling them. Like, don't give them a reason to go to someone else. So, yeah. But you know what, Maria, it is getting a little late, and I know I have to get up in the morning. So I'm thinking maybe I might I don't know. I always keep saying I'm going to end it at 1 o'clock, and I never end at 1 o'clock. Like never ever. And I'm chilling with my dog here. You see old Mason. This dog is spoiled. Like, look at him. I always like laugh. Like if this guy ever came to like St. Lucia, like, you know. I don't even think like in St. Lucia, most dogs aren't even allowed in the house, let alone on the couch laying on their owner like this.
Oh yeah, that's so cute.
Yeah. But you're such a baby. In his beaver canoe sweater.
Oh.
Yeah. He's a big, bulky, husky guy. That's my Mason. It's a he. Real. Yeah, she looks sweet. I'm like, it's a he. It's Mason. He's got his own. He actually, I think he's got more followers on his Instagram than I do. And he doesn't post even half as much as I do. So I don't know what's up with that. I think the Instagram algorithm is racist. They favor dogs over blacks. Mason's like, you got it, bro. So yeah, I think I'm gonna end it as much as I don't want to. I love like chilling and talking about Seamoss. I could do it all night, but it's just the back of my mind. I keep thinking about all the orders I got to do tomorrow morning and how I need to get up early and not be tired. Because if I'm too tired, I might sleep in and I fucking ruin the day.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So, hopefully I'll see you next Wednesday. If not, you know what I mean? Feel free to give me a call anytime. Especially if you have any questions about business or any ideas you want to run by me or something. Let me know. I'm always there to help. And yes, thank you, Rio. Thank you for the 3 people that like pretty much stayed all night watching. I'm sure one of them was you, Maria, right? So then there was like 2 other people. But that's what's crazy. Like 7,000 people in a group and less than 10 show up to talk about Seamoss.
Okay. I think it's either, well, okay. They might not even, you know how whenever you see all these, like, what do you call it? But anyway, when they see that how many hours they go on a live, they kind of get like turned off by it. You know, like 4 hours, like they wouldn't even watch it. Some people.
Mm-hmm.
That's why like they may not watch most of your lives. So then they're probably gonna be like, okay, I don't know if I can come.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of like and maybe the time difference.
Yeah, that's a good point. What I kind of question or wonder is if one is Facebook showing my announcement to everybody in the group or just a few selected people, and 2, has there gotten to be so many people in the group that support Dr. Sebi that most of those people would have came into the group, but because they think I hate Dr. Sebi, they don't, you know what I mean? They don't want to support me. I don't know. And I mean, for the record, I was saying this earlier in the chats. I don't hate Dr. Sebi. I don't even know the guy. Do you know what I mean? And I don't even have a problem with his healing and stuff like that. The only issues I have are the ones I've said, and that's the Seamoss, the inaccurate information about the Seamoss. that, and I just feel like it's dangerous to follow one man and only listen to what that man says and not look for other supporting information or to see what there is else to learn that he hasn't taught you. Like, we need to be independent thinkers. You know what I mean? And so my biggest concern is, with this stuff, is that a lot of these guys, they follow Dr. Sebi like they follow him harder than they follow Jesus. Do you know what I mean? Like they're hanging out everywhere he says, everything he does. They're spending time fighting, arguing, getting so mad, telling people, "Oh, this post should never be here. Oh, how could they write such a thing?" You know, like it's just like, wow. You know what I mean? And all you know is what he taught. That's scary. Yeah, that's scary. I'm sorry, guys. I'm gonna call you out on it. You know what I mean? It like that's what sheep do. They follow the shepherd and they don't question the shepherd. You know what I mean? Whereas, I can't be like that. I have to question everything. You know, I can't just listen to someone and say, even when someone tells me something and I go, yeah, 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 I secretly go behind their back and check it to make sure that they know what they're talking about. If I have a suspicion, like I just don't trust what people say to me because,
You have to correct each other, though.
Huh?
You have to correct each other.
Caress each other? What did you say?
Correct each other.
Oh, correct. I was like, caress? What are you talking about? Where did that come from? I was like, oh, yeah, it's the big community. Love, love, love. Yeah, so, but it's sad because it's like, he's healed a lot of people. You can't deny that. Yeah, he's healed people. But a lot of the things that he says isn't 100% true. You know what I mean? And this happens in a lot of situations. Like, that's sales. Do you know what I mean? Even still, sometimes when you're giving a talk and you're giving a speech, you're just talking. Do you know what I mean? And sometimes you'll say things without realizing it, and it's incorrect, but you're talking and you're saying it. You know what I mean? Like, for example, like in my church, you know what I mean? Because I'm considered like an elder, we'll sit and have these meetings where we're planning an event, right? Say it's like Christmas dinner. And so we'll plan out the menu in Christmas dinner, and it's like, it's obvious what we have on the menu. And then my pastor will go and talk about the Christmas dinner, and he'll be like, oh, it's going to be amazing. It's going to have Chinese food, Indian food. We're going to have this food, that food. And I'm like, what? Like, did I miss the memo? Like, that's not on the menu. Why is he talking? But they get wrapped up into what they're saying, and they're just talking. And it's like, I don't believe he's intentionally lying. Do you know what I mean? But if you were to go back to him and say, hey, why did you say Indian food and we're not having Indian food? Oh, yeah, shit, fuck. You know what I mean? I didn't realize it, It happens. A lot. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Oh,
yeah. So I guess to me it's just like you need to be willing to look beyond what someone's saying.
Yeah, that's
it.
Way to put it.
Yeah. Just for your own education, your own learning. You know what I mean? So that's that. And I think with that, I'll probably end the show. And just to remind everybody, I don't hate to, but I'll say this, before I go, the main reason why I post those articles and I say these things and I come and I do it is because that's the number one thing that engages people in this group and gets people talking.
Right, that's so true.
Yeah.
I totally see the numbers.
Yeah. Everybody engages, everybody talks, and I get to see who's active in the group. Like sometimes these people just expose themselves on some of these accounts, and I'm like, whoa, that person's in the group. I didn't know that person was in the group. You know what I mean? Because I can't look at the membership list. 7,000 people. It can take forever for me to look at each individual. But you know, I'll pull you out on a comment. You know. So okay, for real now. I've been trying to get, you know, saying I'm leaving, and I'm like a hypocrite now because I'm not keeping my word.
Okay.
All right. Thanks so much, Maria, for sticking by me, and thank you for those that joined in. And hopefully, I'll see you guys next Wednesday. And if you can, you know, if you want to, I don't know how to put it. Basically, I'm offering coaching calls or some kind of mentorship calls. They're being scheduled for. Rio's like 2 hours later. I'm still talking. So yeah, just to finish off, there's a Calendly link that I have. I put it up in this chat room, but you can schedule a half an hour call with me on which we can almost discuss anything Seamoss. Mainly, most people have been calling me about how to grow and scale their business. And there's no cost for this call. There's no obligation. You do not have to buy Seamoss for me. You can be you can be like, I've spoken to people that are also exporters and distributors, and so you know what I mean. I guess what I'm trying to say is, don't feel, even if you think you're a competitor, call me. Like I'm not going to hold that kind of bias or whatever. I'm here to help everybody, no matter what. Anybody that needs help, I'm willing to help them. So if you think you need help, yeah, can't go wrong with that. And yeah, it's free, no obligation. Boom, bam. And so yeah, message me if you can't find the link. And with that, I'm gonna let everybody go and say goodnight. All right. I will. Thank you, Maria. You enjoy yours too. Take care. Okay, bye. Hey, you still there? Yeah. Hey, just before you go, you remember I told you the story about how the guy said, were you there when I was talking about the guy said that the Seamoss was underweight? No. Okay, so like earlier in the show, you can go back to it. There's a part that I'm just laughing in my head because I hear the Bob 2 hours later. So at one point we were discussing where I was like, this guy writes to me and says that it's 6 pounds under. And I was like, hell no, there's no way it could be 6 pounds over. Like, it would be 6 pounds over before it'd be 6 pounds under. And so as I was signing off, I went on to check my Instagram, and he wrote, I want to apologize to you. I just opened my other box and weighed it out. The second bag of the super dried moss was underneath the regular gold moss. So he found the missing 6 pounds that he thought he didn't have. So.
Well, I respect him so much for coming on to apologize.
That's true, because a lot of times if I sat there and said, "Oh, I'm going to send you more Seamoss, don't worry," they might just, okay. But that's why I always tell them, weigh it out. Let me see you weigh it, because more times than not, I see them weighing it, and I'm like, you're not weighing it right. Lift the bag up, put this on this, weigh it properly. And then when they weigh it properly, they're like, oh, okay, I'm sorry. Because guaranteed, I'm always heavy-handed on the scale, just so that I don't have to worry about it. Like, I don't have to worry about it, like dehydrating more on its way there or anything like that, So I just wanted to end the show feeling vindicated, because now, you know what I mean? He apologized. He made a mistake, not me. So I'm happy for that. better they make the mistake than I make the mistake. And yeah. And so with that, I'm really going now. Okay? Okay, bye. Take care. All right, guys. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you guys on Wednesday. Don't forget to take your Seamoss. All right.